Go. No. No. That one. Buttons are hard. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 31 of Real Time Chatting. I'm Josh, here as always with S.
Hello.
Hello. And today our special guest is Atem_T.
Hi, hello. How's
Hi.
it going, everyone?
Yeah, it's all good. We've obviously been chatting for a bit. But yeah, we're here.
No, what do you mean I just got here?
Yeah, for a new start. And yeah, Atem is here today to talk about Fable: The Lost Chapters, I believe it's called.
Yeah, Fable in general, mostly Lost Chapters. It's a complicated thing, but yeah.
Yeah, professional quality, yeah.
Production quality, yeah.
Production quality, yeah. That's what I meant. But yeah, we actually have a fair amount of news to talk about this week, unlike usual, but we'll get to that in a minute. Jumping ahead, let's talk about what we've been doing this week, gaming/speedrun wise. So, Atem, what have you done?
Good
Yeah,
question.
we're not starting with me this time.
No,
Wow.
Oh.
I mean, do you want to go first?
you can if you want. You know, I normally start with you because telling myself to do it is weird, and asking the guest that may not know what we're doing, so ask you first so you can lead them in. It's alright. You go first, I guess.
No, Atom goes first.
Okay.
I'll go first then, right. Yeah, so I've not been doing too much in terms of speedrunning. I've been doing a bit of practice for ESA with Fable Anniversary.
Oh.
The other thing I did was on Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember actually. I helped one of my friends in chat, Big Law, with a commentating Fable run as well for a online marathon called Power Up with Pride, which is like a marathon that raises money for transgender law centers and stuff. So good stuff, but that was good fun. Yeah, other than that, not too much. Not as much as I'd like to. Not been streaming as much as I'd like to, but what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have the time or a speed run to do, yeah, then yeah. So you're doing Fable at ESA.
Yeah, I am on the second stream.
Ah, that would explain why I can't find it on the schedule. Okay. So I have to ask you, how do you feel about the second stream? Because I remember the first year they did the second stream, all the runners that got on the second stream, well, 50% of them were salty that they were pushed to the side on the second stream. No one was watching them. And all of my runs were on the second stream, and I didn't care. But how do you feel about it?
I mean, honestly, it's fine. I'll be honest. I'm just happy I got in.
Fair enough.
Because last year I also got in with Fable, but I was told 3 days before the actual marathon started because I think it was Pokemon Yellow was dropped, like the runner couldn't make it, and then I just got a DM on Twitter like, hey, can you make it? I'm like, yes. So yeah, honestly, I'm just happy I get in. I'll be doing this stream 1 or stream 2. It will still be the same game, so nothing will really change in that regard. So I'll be interested to see how they do it because it's been 2 years since they last did 2 streams.
They didn't do one last year.
Yeah.
I think they did 2 streams the year before. They did.
Yeah, because it was like the blue and the yellow stream. Or something.
And in 2015.
Yeah.
And that was the one I wanted to go to but didn't. But then last year was the one I did actually manage to go to. So.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like from my perspective, like getting a run in on the second stream is still better than not getting a run in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I see no reason to complain other than like.
Oh no, not as many viewers.
I mean, like that first stream probably is going to get a bit more exposure. I'm not sure about the numbers. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as people are aware, they're just going to watch a run they care about more. Like if there's game they've never seen before on stream 1, but then there's their childhood favorite game ever on stream 2. It's not going to be like, oh, I'll watch stream 1 because it's the more popular one.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of thinking about this in the past, especially when that year I had my games on the second stream. And I realised the people that got salty, they felt like they were good enough to be on the first stream, right? It's not that they're like you're just happy to get in, whereas other people are like, oh, I'm gonna get in, I'm the best, and then they only get on the second stream, and it's like, you know, it's like they were going to get an A, but they only got a C, whereas you're just happy to pass, right?
Yeah.
And it's also, the viewer count will always be lower, unfortunately, because what happens is like you say, it's like, oh, if people want to watch that, they'll tune over and watch it, but then you don't get all the viewers that just watch whatever, any game they haven't heard of, right? So they all sit on the main one. But yeah, I've observed that effect, like, because the San Andreas run, the first year I did it, was like the biggest run ever or whatever, and I still hear about it to this day. But the one the year after that was even cooler and had 4 runners, and I got naked in it.
Cool.
No one knows about it. Like, I literally.
That's why they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
I think that run isn't on YouTube because it got blocked everywhere. But
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it's also the one that got more popular on YouTube just by their magic algorithm sort of thing as well. But
Yeah, it's
but even then,
random.
I really liked the 4-way or the 2-player relay race thing. That was really cool.
Yeah, it
I
was.
enjoyed that too, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
and-
that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
bias as well because you were both in it. You could say yeah, it was cool, but you were both running there as well. So that's a bit of bias, but.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, no, you were maybe in there, weren't you? It was maybe yes, wasn't it?
What? Oh yeah,
yeah, you
maybe.
were, yes,
'cause
maybe.
I
Yeah, that was right.
hadn't submitted it. Like it was only just Tyrion and Omega that had submitted it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was doing 100%, but I think I did. Was I not the world record holder when we were doing that? I don't know. My perception of time, but like at some point I got actually really good at any percent, and I had not even.
Might have
You
even
know-
been, was it Tiduva maybe?
Yeah,
No.
maybe.
If Omega was doing it, it must have been Omega, right?
I mean, like at one point when Tiduva finally beat Omega, I beat Tiduva after that, and then like after that Omega came again. I don't know, but I got really good at it, but I hadn't submitted it, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe S, and I was like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
See any percent lead the CR.com thing. When was it? It was 2014, right?
That was 2014,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, maybe it just isn't on YouTube. Maybe that explains it. But yeah, I preferred that run to the other one that I did solo. But I just never hear about it for some reason. But oh well. But yeah, again, I don't care. Like, right? Like,
Yeah,
oh
it's
no,
not like
nobody watched it. Woo. Like,
My favorite dual stream story though is 2015. I had Grand Theft Auto Vice City 100%, and on the secondary stream, and then SWAT 4 co-op on the primary stream, like an hour after that or so. But what happened was the secondary stream was behind, and the primary stream was ahead. So after I was done with my Vice City run, I was like, I gotta go to the other stream, bye-bye.
you just appear on the other
You-
street.
You're just like playing on both streams, like what? 2 keyboards in your hands, just like playing both games at once. It's like
Yeah.
If the thoughts still exist, I'd kind of like to see that. Like, I run away from one stream, like put them side by side, and then you see me like.
yeah, where's that on all the like top 10 speedrunning moment compilation videos? Eh?
Yeah, where is all that stuff? Okay, but yeah, like Zephyr said, we got a little sidetracked there. I'm sorry, just wanted to ask an interesting question, and we reminisced a bit too hard. Yeah, so that's what you've been doing this week at Tim, right?
Yeah.
So watching
Not
2014.
too much.
What have you been doing, S?
I had a marathon run, Shots Fired marathon, which was last Saturday. And it was Far Cry 2, and I must say I did not prepare well for it. I thought
No,
it would
you
be
did not.
It was,
I haven't
thought
seen
would be
it.
a week later, so I was like, I have another week to practice. Oh wait, no, I don't. But despite all that, that run went fairly well, and I've gotten feedback that my commentary was good. So that's nice.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I watched it. It's like one of the few runs I watched. I watched it like yesterday. To prepare for this podcast thing, that's what I go through. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was also very fun watching you completely miss your positions for the mortar shots. So then I just go on speedrun.com and find the position. I'm just like, oh, he's not even anywhere near the right bush. It's hilarious.
Yeah, that game is so much about recognizing bushes and
Yeah.
trees. Like, All the bushes look the same. I don't remember exactly which bush.
Yeah, it's like an open world game set in a jungle or in Africa and lots of different environments, and it's just bushes and trees. It's all you have to go on instead of buildings and stuff. It's so funny. Yeah, it was like the last mortar shot you were trying to do. You walked up and you looked at the correct bush and tree and stuff, and then you were like, no, it can't be that far, and then you turned left, and then you just kept going up the path, and I'm like, no, S, go further back, you were there. And it's like you keep looking for this rock, but then like the rock, there's like a tree on the far left that's a really distinctive tree with a long branch that you aim at in your tutorial video, and the rock's behind that, and you're aiming like I don't know, 20 degrees to the right of that, and I'm like, what are you doing?
It's equivalent of shouting at the TV at sports like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I was like, I can't. It's because I'm
so
watching
obvious.
it. I'm watching it back in a VOD, right? And I have chat because I'm watching on Twitch, and I'm just like, I want to type in chat, but I can't. It's so horrible.
That is the worst thing. It's like when you see something on a VOD, and you're like, I want to say something in chat, but it's like, you can't. No.
Yeah. It was fun though. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like you said, you didn't practice that much, and I wouldn't remember that shit either. But it was hilarious.
As long as you had fun.
Yeah, it was certainly fun. I enjoyed it a great deal.
Yeah. Did you ever figure out what was going on with that barge?
The
The barge that kept disappearing and appearing.
No, I don't know why the barge teleported back to where it spawned. It's usually like I've had it before where it doesn't despawn, but usually it just stays like where it is after the escort mission in the town. But now it teleported back. I don't know.
Weird. But yeah, it was a good run. You almost underestimate if your game didn't crash several times.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a good run. And yeah, I guess I'll segue into what I was doing the past week. I haven't done anything speedrun wise, still playing the flipping esports racing game. I have managed to accidentally get a load of other GTA boys into it. Like Noz just signed up for it, and Carl K was doing it. Rydog's been doing it. Like loads of people doing it. It's like, oh god, I started another thing.
I mean, that realistic thing, it looks really cool. It's just like, I don't have the time, man.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be cool to get into and, like, those realistic things, but it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to put so much work. Like, first of all, you have to, like, get through the pleb filter at the start and get your actual license so you can drive real cars, and that would take, like... Well, that takes, like, 5 races if you get it perfect, but if you're not already perfect, it would take, like, 20.
Yeah, and also the whole getting a wheel thing, because, like, you can get a wheel and play it, but then if you don't like it, then you just got this, like, 300-pound paperweight sort of thing on your desk.
Yeah, I still have mine. It kind of blocks my microphone. It's like there. But yeah, but what I did do was, as I was saying, I tried to watch a bit of Shots Fired. I didn't get to watch any of it live, but I did watch a lot of the VODs. I watched your run, I watched Doom, and I was about to watch Star Wars Battlefront 2, but then I ran out of time. Yeah, it's a good game. But yeah, the Doom run is still fun to watch. Just like flying through the sky on railings and stuff like that. It's great.
Yeah, just as a side note, Star Wars Battlefront is run by someone in chat who also runs Fable, Big Law.
Oh, there you go then.
So crossover, yay!
Hey, there you go. Segue. Yeah, that's one of those... Battlefront 2 is one of those games that I always wanted to learn, but I haven't got around to it. I think I've probably watched a few of your runs, Big Law. Every time there's like a new record, I go and watch it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's what we've been doing the past week. That was a lot longer than normal.
Yeah, a lot longer than we expected, not doing too much.
Yeah, none of us did much. Well, S did something interesting, none of us did. Alright, yeah, so that's what we were doing this week. Let's move on to what the speedrunning community was doing this week. So, we'll start with the news. I even gave it a fancy little sub-split thing. So, the biggest news that all three of us almost forgot about is SGDQ.
No, we all definitely remembered. We all prepared a lot, definitely not half an hour ago.
SGDQ 2017 is a thing that is happening in 4 days from now. It starts the 2nd of July.
I'm definitely not checking the schedule right now.
No, I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not about to just show it on the stream. There we go. Oh, that's the wrong button. That was the YouTube
To be honest,
button.
the thing I look forward to the most in SCGQ this year is all the intermissions.
Yeah, they were really good, weren't they, in AGDQ?
Yeah, they were good production quality. I enjoyed them. They were a bit cheesy sometimes, but I mean, cheesy can be fun.
Yeah, that was because, like, SGDQ last year was when they first started to do it, and it was all a bit cringy and stuff. But then AGDQ 2017 was actually like really good, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember. So
Is this like with the camera and stuff, or with...
yeah, so like in between runs, they would like go to a desk with like people stood around it, sat talking to each other, and they'd talk about the run to the runner and stuff like that. And
Oh yeah, that stuff was really cool. Like there was, it's like you can talk about the run, but then when you sit the person down, it's like you get like all that extra info.
Yeah.
A bit like what we're doing now, sort of thing.
yeah, it is kind of.
But better.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they had people with charisma doing it. It was great.
and production value.
Yeah, yeah, it was actually. It was really good. Like the Twitter would
Yeah,
like come on the
production
screen and stuff, didn't it?
Hmm.
But yeah, that's a good point. I do look forward to that, seeing that as well, see what they do. But yeah, obviously there's actual runs we can talk about. Have any of you picked out anything?
Oh, I see Half-Life 2, I saw Mirror's Edge, I saw Cluster Truck. Cluster Truck, isn't there a donation incentive for it where the Twitch integration is enabled?
Oh my god, that would... The game
Oh,
won't work, right? The game would crash, surely.
It would just like insta crash,
No.
wouldn't it?
I don't know. I would assume.
It'd be quite difficult to test.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, let's just get 50,000 people or like 150,000 people in a
if
Twitch
can
chat.
that can handle that many requests. Yeah. What is also funny is maybe like if the devs tune in because they have special tools that allow them to manipulate the game even further.
They do, yes.
I think that is a donation incentive. Maybe I just heard rumors of it and it's not actually true, but that would be cool.
That would be really cool. I'd like to watch that. 25 minutes of... Yeah, I'd love to see what happened to the game. It would probably... I'd be really impressed if it could handle that many like inputs from Twitch chat.
I'm really hoping they've done some kind of test, otherwise it goes spectacularly bad. It's like, oh hey, let's do it with Twitch. Oh no, it crashed.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Well, I mean, I guess if it crashes, they just turn it off, right? I don't know.
Or just
Yeah.
like do it without. But that'd be a bit like if there was donation incentives or something towards that. That'd be a bit.
Yeah, we'll have to see. That would be really interesting, though.
Let me see if that is actually a donation incentive.
Okay. Well, anyway, for me, there's my usual pick of, hey, Doom's 2016 is in it. I always pick that game out.
I haven't seen the run, but like the game like looks very friendly for like speed tech. So looks good.
Oh, you haven't seen anything. You'll have to watch that.
I will have to watch it.
Either watch the Shots Fired one or the AGDQ one or this one. But this one's all secrets, so it's like 100% kinda. So that'll be good.
Yeah, the one run I've just seen. Well, I definitely just didn't see, and I studied very carefully beforehand. Is actually Oblivion Any Percent No Out of Bounds, which is actually the first run I ever did back in 2013, when the only time for it was actually a just a YouTube run. I got nowhere close. Like it was like a 55-minute time, and I think I got like, I don't even think I had a timer running for it. I just used the game time. It was like an hour and a half, but. I actually tried going back to that like a year ago, and it just like I got frustrated on a trick and just like never came back to it. But it's something on my list, but I guess we'll come back to that later. But yeah, that's one I'm looking forward to seeing, because I've not actually seen how it's changed recently, or if it's even changed at all.
There's another Tetris block. Do you guys still watch that? I watched the first few and then I kind of got bored of it.
I mean, 8-way race sounds pretty cool, or like it sounds cool,
Does
but
it?
like, I mean, it's like, I think it's more the fact that the first run was the run everyone watched because it was like no one has ever seen Tetris played like that before, sort of thing. It's like, wow, what is this? Whereas it loses sort of like the shock value sort of thing after.
Yeah, I don't know how watchable an 8-player race is going to be.
It's like you need a microscope to see every.
Yeah.
Unless it's like.
Tetris, would you really need to see that much?
I mean, I guess it depends on how they handle the layout. Because if they've got a bunch of other stuff on screen, it could just be like super tiny.
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll see how it goes. It might be.
8-player layout will work, I guess. You would just scale everything down by a third, and then you have 8 tiles, and then in the middle there's the 9th square where you put info.
Yeah, I guess that's the way they could do it. Or it might even be that they swap people out as they go behind or go ahead or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
That's interesting. 8-player race. if you look at how the 8-player rounds of SWAT went at ESA,
Well,
Yeah, but
Well,
that's like a co-op game. You don't have to follow 8 different threads, do you? It's like you're all working together, sort of thing. Whereas trying to
wasn't that the
follow
one where
8
the stream
different.
went down for like an hour?
Wait, did that
Or was that
happen?
another one I'm thinking of? No, I know there was like a SWAT 4 thing where the stream was down for like a good hour or 20 minutes or something. I might be remembering it wrong, but I'm sure there was one something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a AGDQ, ESA 2015 or something. Again, this is just pure memory, and I could be completely wrong, but I'm sure there's something like, oh yeah, there was an 8-player SWAT race or run or something, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
SWAT has always been a setup nightmare for
Yeah,
ESA.
like 8 PCs all plugged in at work. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like there's Cluster Truck. Like I think we talked about that, didn't we? Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course we did. Yeah.
There's Year of the Dragon 100 Egg. That's always that's a pretty cool run. Spyro.
Spyro Year of the Dragon. I think I saw that. Oh, 100 Egg. Okay. So they.
So it's like, I guess, the middle ground between any percent and 100%.
Yeah. You don't pick up every single gem or whatever. You just
Yeah,
get all the eggs.
It's the 70 star, I guess.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Pokemon Heart Gold. Is that really the only mainline Pokemon game this year? Huh. It's one of my favourite ones, but I don't know what the speedrun's like.
I know. I mean, I think this is just regular any percent, and from what I remember, it's kind of glitchy in places, but it's just not like it's not Pokemon Red broken, but it's not just like playing through the game.
Yeah.
Like there is, because they've got like the tweaking glitch and stuff where they can use a bike to go through walls and stuff, kind of.
Yeah, of course, tweaking on the DS ones. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that's an interesting glitch.
I remember destroying my thumbs doing that as a kid.
Yeah.
Alright, so I finally found a tracker, and yes, there is Twitch integration donation incentive for Cluster Truck. It's $5,000. If met, we will enable Twitch integration for the Cluster Truck run, where you can send commands to the chat to mess with the runner. So that's gonna be great.
Yeah, that would be great. I'm not sure anything would ever get done in Twitch chat, but it'd be. I just want to see if the game crashes or not. All right.
It'd be great brackets if it worked. If
Yeah.
not, it'd be a bit embarrassing.
All right. Well, that was SGDQ. That's our picks of it. That's starting in 4 or 5 days. It lasts like 9, right? I think so.
Just close the schedule.
I did as well.
2,
Never mind.
3, 4.
It's SGDQ. We don't need to promote it that much. It's fine. Everyone knows about it.
It's 8 days.
8 days. I was close. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And the next bit of news is something we should kind of promote a little bit. It's a little interesting. Is speedrunworldrecord.com is a new website that someone made and then shared on the speedrunning website, speedrunning subreddit. And it's a website designed to help you watch random world records of games on speedrun.com. So let's try this out live, shall we? Let's hope I don't get any hentai or something.
Metroid Elements, any percent deathless.
I'm going. So this is like speedrunworldrecord.com, and you just click on new run, and it just pulls a random world record from speedrun.com. And now we're watching Jack Bros.
Oh man.
Never heard of this game before, but yeah, a lot of people had like a lot of positive feedback about it on the subreddit, and it actually got some mainstream gaming news coverage. I remember there was an article about it on Rock Paper Shotgun and stuff like that. So,
Oh wow.
yeah, a load of people were enjoying it, and apparently you can find like actual good runs to watch on there. But I imagine it's a bit potluck. It's like load up, does the runner talk? Yes. Okay, keep going, and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I clicked it the first time. I got Legend of Zelda: Return of the Hylian, which I guess is some kind of like ROM hack or something.
Yeah.
So I guess
probably.
it's biased in favor of like ROM hacks and stuff because there's just like a million of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds pretty good. It's like if you ever want to watch a run, I guess this is the place to go.
Yeah.
It's like just want to watch someone go fast at a game.
Yeah, if you're like really bored and it's like, oh, I've watched everything on YouTube and there's no one live on Twitch, I'll just go on this website and just watch
I've
that.
reached the last video on YouTube. There's nothing left.
Well, I mean, everything in your
Yeah, I
subscription
know what you mean,
feed.
yeah.
Come on.
I know what you mean.
But although apparently not everyone does that, S is still behind on your subscription feed, right? By like 5 weeks.
I'm a month behind.
Jesus.
I have to scroll down like 33 times on my phone in my subscription list.
Yeah, the opposite.
to
I just
get
like
where I want to be.
I'll just like open it. It'll be like, nope, nothing there. Just close it again.
It's like
you need to give me some of your channels. I need to catch up on that.
I have like 3 different tiers of YouTubers that I watch. There's like the lowest tier where it's like if I'm really desperate and bored and I have nothing else to watch, I'll watch their latest videos or whatever it's on my feed. Then there's like middle tier when it's like, okay, I'll go on my nightly YouTube, let's find a video from one of these people to watch, and like there's always some like Minecraft video or something I watch while I'm eating dinner. Don't ask me why, it just is. And
I mean,
then
it's a good mealtime video.
yeah. And then there's like high tier YouTuber where I have the notification thing on, and as soon as they release a video, I stop whatever I'm doing and watch it immediately, sort of thing.
Do you post a comment in the comments as well? Like, never dropped anything so fast.
No, I'm not one of those people, no. I
I'm
get
gonna
so
find
many
out
of
which
those.
one it is. I'm gonna go there and just go see a comment on your channel from your channel, just saying first, and go
Yeah.
very disappointed.
Notification squad, woo!
Oh my! Oh no!
That's what I get.
You never
Yeah.
do this.
Squad.
I don't know how we got
Yeah,
here, but yeah, that's speedrunworldrecord.com.
Yeah, I've got like a similar thing with YouTube, except I've got like an even bottom tier, which is like either inactive accounts I never, I just like, I don't want to unsubscribe to just because if they ever upload again, I don't want to miss it.
That dark hope in the back of your heart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Dark
Like I
from
don't want to forget their
yourself
existence,
or
sort of
something,
thing.
You know?
And then there's also ones that like I haven't unsubscribed from, but I should have a long time ago, sort of thing.
Oh
There was
no.
this- like 3 years ago, I followed all these prank channels, and like eventually.
Oh my god, yeah,
It's
it's
got
dark
around
times.
six. But then, like every now and then, like a couple of weeks ago, like some prank channel had changed their name, so I didn't recognize it, and they just started uploading again after like 2 years of absence, right? And because they changed their name, like the comments were just, "I do not remember subscribing to them."
Yeah.
Jeez.
Back in the days of prank channels, it's dark days.
Yeah. I keep my YouTube actually fairly lean. Like, as soon as someone starts uploading too many things that I really don't want to watch, I just unsubscribe, just sod it.
Yeah, for the most part I do, but it's like people are like, I used to watch a whole bunch in the past, they've just sort of like gradually stopped, but I just haven't sort of unsubscribed yet. But I
Yeah.
should.
You gotta go cold turkey, man.
Yeah.
Alright, but yeah, anyway, that was a long segue. That was speedrunworldrecord.com.
It's just a long segue episode.
Yeah, it is. We're just gonna keep going on tangents. But yeah, you can watch random world records from speedrun.com. It's like an interesting idea, and a lot of people outside of speedrunning seem to think it's a great idea. So there you go. You might enjoy it. Next up, I have my splits in the wrong order. So this is a survey. You may have heard S filling out before we went live. Somebody wrote a massive speedrun community survey. So kind of similar to the news we reported on, where like someone was doing a university degree and they wanted some information from speedrunners. This is sort of
Anything else from that?
yeah.
See, I
wonder.
thought they were the same one because I saw that a few days ago and just thought this one. I was like, oh, they must be the same. But I didn't actually see the university survey. Was it like any good?
I never filled it out. I'll be honest. I forgot about it.
Fair
There
enough.
was a few questions. Like if you had watched the run, you might as well. But
Oh yeah, you had to watch the run of it. Yeah, that was it. But
no.
yeah, this is more of a general speedrun community survey, and it's stuff about the community as a
covers a
whole.
lot of subjects.
Yeah, it covers like I was going through. I was like, yeah, it covers quite a bit. Like there's some where like the answers are a bit silly, but for the most part, it's like yeah, it's pretty like it's not just like someone who's like, oh, let me just get some speedrunners advice. It's like someone who actually knows what they're talking about, who made it.
And I wonder what the person who's running it wants to achieve with it. Do they say?
A lot of fancy graphs. Gonna be a lot of fancy
A
graphs
lot
out
of
of this.
fancy graphs. Oh yeah, the survey will be open approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Then the report and possibly a video will be created.
What video?
Yeah, that's it. That's all they say about the results of it. So if you want to fill in some random person's data graph so they can sit there and talk about it on a YouTube video, go ahead. But it has some interesting questions, thought-provoking things. So
Yes, and that was quite thought-provoking.
Hmm.
Not many surveys have done that about speedrunning.
Yeah. Okay. And then next, which is kind of news, but kind of also speedrun recap, I decided to put it in news since it wasn't really a speedrun. It was more of an event. Why is there volume? Okay, there we go. It's Runner Guy. He did his blindfolded charity stream that he's been planning for a long time. So he was trying to raise $10,000 for Sight Savers. Which I forgot to look into before I went live, but I'm assuming it's a charity to help, vision impaired people.
Yeah, I think that was the idea.
Yeah, obviously. And then so he's Runner Guy is famous for doing these blindfolded things. I think he did one at GDQ once. It was very popular. But yeah, this is one of his like crazy things where he tries to do way more than just any percent while blindfolded. And he did all dungeons, and it took him, I forgot to write it down.
30 hours, I
30
think?
hours, something like that, yeah. I mean,
look.
I can't imagine staying awake for 30 hours, yet alone having a bag over my head for most of it.
Yeah, there must be like also just like sensory deprivation as well, just being like not being able to see for that long.
Yeah.
Must be like that'd be a bigger challenge than the actual like run itself for me. It's just like also it's probably pretty warm in that bag as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he does get up to go to the toilet sometimes, but he only ever does it in cutscenes when he's like absolutely 100% sure where he is, so he doesn't gain any benefit from looking at the screen, which is quite nice. But yeah, it's really impressive watching him navigate the whole game like without being able to see anything. It's really funny. Like he prepares for like boss fights and stuff, so he knows exactly how to kill a boss with muscle memory. So he does all of those flawlessly. But then he gets stuck on really silly things, like sometimes he just doesn't quite climb a ladder correctly, and then he's walking into the wall next to it for ages. Like the one time I tuned in, it took him 20 minutes to try and climb a ladder that was slightly to his left, and he didn't know it was slightly to his left. That was hilarious. But yeah, it's just it's funny how little things like that would be like you don't think about it, right? Because it's so simple, so that you don't prepare for it. But all the boss fights and stuff he prepares for and he does flawlessly. It's great.
Yeah, it is actually harder than it looks like. I tried like playing Fable once, turning off my monitor and seeing how far I could get. I couldn't even get down like the first hill. I was like stuck on a wall. It's like, oh, this is actually a lot harder than it looks. I'm like, oh, this will be fine. No, it wasn't fine.
Yeah, I tried it for San Andreas once as well.
Oh no,
I managed to using CJ's footstep sounds. I managed to navigate my way to CJ's house and start the mission. And then I had to ride a bicycle, and then I don't know if you ever tried to drive a vehicle while blinded before, but it's very difficult.
Also, you got like the ball.
I got to the keep up part in the parking lot, and when I tried it.
Oh wow! Did you? Holy crap!
Keep up. Yeah, for some reason the bala car that attacks you, he just disappeared, so I didn't get shot by him.
Nice.
And then I got busted.
Oh.
Damn. But yeah. So there's some games that are fit for it. Ocarina of Time is great because you have a sword that hits things in front of you, and you can like lock the camera and stuff like that, so you can walk exactly straight and things like that. So it lends itself really well to it, but it's still like, obviously crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty selective because also like I also found out the game has to have like really good audio. Like if it has to be like very good stereo, otherwise there's no chance because like. You can't tell what way something's coming, otherwise, yeah.
Has he been struggling to cross this bridge for a few minutes while we were watching?
I guess so, yeah, because there's like a pit nearby, so
he
gets it wrong.
He keeps he's going to walk into the pit again.
Oh, no.
Like, he's trying to see if it's there with a hook shot, but I think he realizes it isn't because he isn't hitting anything. But yeah, it's just stuff like this. It's like walking across the bridge into the castle to start the dungeons he can't do. The dungeons he could probably do instantly, right? But he just can't get across the damn bridge. It's stuff like that. It's really funny to watch. It's great. But yeah, that was Runner Guy's blindfolded stream. If you haven't, well, I wouldn't watch the whole thing. It's 30 hours. But if you haven't watched like clips and I don't know if he makes a highlight video.
Make like a highlight video or something.
Yeah, if he does, that would definitely be the way to go. But I imagine it's pretty hard for him, right? Because he wasn't watching, so he doesn't know where the funny stuff is. I don't know.
Yeah, unless he like tweets out like, "Hey, post your funny moments from the race or the run." Sorry.
Normally he normally when he does the blindfolded things, he watches the stream back live so he can like respond to chat, because obviously you can't read chat at the time. And that's always the best time to watch, because you get like, you know, the entertainment of him doing dumb shit, but then him also talking about the dumb shit. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Can't really do that for 30 hours though.
yeah, I don't know if I'd do it for 30 hours. Probably bits of times. But yeah, there was that. That was great. So yeah, he raised over $10,000 for the charity, which is great. A solo effort is pretty good effort.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, that was the speedrun news for that week that we could find. Now we'll move on to the records we could find for this week. We didn't shuffle these, but it should be okay. So yeah, a few of these we got submitted with our submission form. A few of them we got from our Discord, and a few of them people just told me in my Twitch chat while I was streaming once. Which is the ones I wrote down really hurriedly in Discord as, if you're wondering. But the first run is Sonic 2 any percent, or actually no, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 beat the game with Sonic in 1458 by Mike89, and I should probably show you it so you can see what it is. There you go. So yeah, this is Sonic 2 on the Genesis or Mega Drive. Pretty popular game. This is the only one I've ever played, like, at the time. Did either of you play this? Do you know anything about it?
Nope. I know there's Zips, or is that a different one?
I think that's this one. I think it's the Genesis ones that have it. But yeah, I mean, it's Sonic. You run fast, and yeah, the whole game's kind of about going fast, but you kind of do it unintendedly, so it's not just like hold right or anything.
Yeah, I know they also do like different strats because like for the timer, like you can't go too fast, otherwise the time bonus you get at the end, because that takes like a million years. You sometimes have to slow down a little bit, otherwise the time bonus you'll lose out on all your time anyway.
Isn't that don't I just change the timing method for that? Like is it one of those few games where like timing RTA actually doesn't make sense?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah. You say go to the oil level, Powdernet. I don't know what the oil level is.
I think you went past this. I can't see quite on the stream, but it's like Oil Ocean or something.
Yeah.
Oil Ocean? What's this?
I guess it's Oil Ocean 2.
Oh, I see it. It's on the splits, right. Okay, oil level. Oh, I went too far. Alright, so we're going to see some zips. Oh, it looks like it. Is he zipping?
Nice.
Was that it?
He was zipping through the oil just then.
Oh yeah, he's doing... Yeah, okay. There you go. There's some glitches. Oh, Metropolitus free level warp. Okay, fine. We'll go there. I'm glad someone knows about this game. How do you always know about one game every week, Powdernet? Every time. Do you just, like, consume speedruns? Okay, is this it? No, that's Sky Chase. Oh, God. Alright, okay. That's the boss fight. Okay, I'll leave it there. There we go. I think that's happening. But yeah, so yeah, this is a run. It's a mainline Sonic game, so I imagine it's pretty optimized. And Mike89 is fairly famous. So yeah, he finally got sub 15, I guess. That's what people were telling me. The sub 15 Sonic 2. And yeah, the zip happened, and he flew to the end of the level. There you go. But yeah, that's that. Next up is Digimon Worlds. Any percent in 1 hour, 9 minutes, and 49. So it's sub 110 by Raikachu. And they say, finally, it is over again. This took much longer than I thought it would. After once getting this exact time with a recording failure, it's nice to finally have it done and cleanly recorded. 0 frames, promontory, etc. Oh, okay, so that sucks. So they must have done it once and then lost it.
That's infuriating.
Yeah. But yeah, this is Digimon World. Did either of you two play this?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
I've not even watched Digimon before.
Okay.
I'll be honest.
Well, I did play this game, and it's a really hardcore RPG with permadeath. And your Digimon, and you only have one Digimon at a time. Although he's using 2 here, I don't quite understand what's happening. But anyway, Yeah, it's like a really hardcore Digimon game. I never got very far as a kid because it's so hard. You have to like go around, defeat like certain Digimon, and they come to your town. You're supposed to like rebuild the town and discover a mystery or whatever. But yeah, I'm really surprised people speedrun this because when I played it, 99% of the game was grinding for stats in the literal training area. It's like your Digimon evolve from like small baby ones to bigger ones, and based on their stats and how well you treated them and let them poop in a toilet instead of on the floor and stuff, depends what Digimon you get. So I'm really interested to know how the RPG aspects of this run work. And also your Digimon just die if they get too old. So I wonder if that happens at any point. Like, does your Digimon pass away or something? Probably a reset if that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I guess they use like glitches or something to alleviate that, but
maybe.
I don't know. This is the first time I've ever seen anything about it.
Digimon just might not die in an hour. I don't know. I don't remember how long they last. But yeah,
I don't imagine they do. Yeah.
This is an impressive run, and a lot of people are fans of it, and getting sub 110 is pretty impressive because a lot of people have done it for ages. And I imagine it's pretty optimized. Yeah, so there's that one. Oh yeah, Liquid Wi-Fi with a restart. He even got onto the podcast even though we weren't doing a Simpsons game. Damn it, Liquid Wi-Fi. Every week. Alright, next is Deus Ex Mankind Divided Glitchless in 47 minutes and 17 seconds by Joe Mere. Which is a run we talked about 2 weeks ago?
I think it was 2 weeks ago, yeah. Or 3?
3 weeks?
It was 3 weeks ago because you took a week off, didn't you?
Oh, yes, that's it. Yep.
But it's 2 episodes ago, I think. So the blessing of being on the show still counts.
Yep.
If you're on the show, then within 2 episodes, you'll get world record.
No pressure on me.
Yeah, no pressure.
I don't actually know too much about this one. I need to run for 2 minutes. Is that right?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I'll just read the comment because it's interesting for a glitches run. So he says, this is a pretty okay run. He messed up London and Garm a bit, but other than that, it went well. There's a new strat in Dubai, which is the first level for the 0451 door, which saves around 6 seconds. And there's also uncapped frame rate, which lets him skip dialogue faster than if the frame rate was capped.
Okay.
So he also says there's a potential for sub 47, but that will be difficult right now. The Valley Theater looked weird because the area wasn't loaded yet and the door he was supposed to destroy wasn't there. So instead the game ignored his inputs for a couple of seconds, and then the grenade that he was supposed to throw was thrown a lot later. So that's something nice for a glitchless run where the game just stops loading stuff. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to learn about this game, did we talk about this one specifically, or?
No, we talked about Human Revolution.
Okay, well, they're a similar thing, and we talked about this run in it, I think. Yeah, it's just another modern Deus Ex game, flying around everywhere and using glitchless. Imagine that means out of boundsless in reality.
I guess.
I'm pretty sure they would have skipped all of this by now, like going through a wall and like propelling themselves upwards with a grenade. You know about Mankind Divided, Human Revolution. It's the same stuff, I think.
I mean, there's some zips that you can, or some clips through the wall that you can do.
Yeah. I know for certain they wouldn't be doing any of this if it was glitched. They would skipped all of this. So there you go. You're watching exclusive glitchless content. But they are just running past everyone, which I wish didn't work, but it does. Damn Deus Ex games.
Don't play your games on easy, man.
I wonder if they do have hard. Right, hard mode glitchless. Is that a category? No, I'm disappointed. Alright. Probably best that it isn't. Alright, next up is another game we have had a guest on the show to talk about before.
Nice timing.
You're back. Do you know about what's it called? Devil May Cry 3?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, it's got a lot of comments on the in the doc.
You can read it if you want.
Yeah, go and read it.
Okay. It says, okay, here's the medium-sized one. This is the hardest difficulty in the game, and considering we start without any life upgrades and any weapon/movement, including double jump with all enemies in the game, example bosses, gaining insane damage and HP boost, their new strats can be affected with Devil Trigger. Even the enemies in this game, in this specific difficulty, can use Devil Trigger. They're also very resistant to stuns, as every move in their game got their stun value, etc. It's quite optimized, but I highly doubt SGOD will ever do it again, as the run itself is a big challenge towards sanity. So I guess it's like some super insane high difficulty run thing.
Yeah, because they normally, when we talked to Mecha about it, he said that you normally do like New Game Plus sort of thing and use all the super powerful power-ups and whatnot and have infinite energy and stuff like that. And insta-kill a lot of enemies with a special item. So I guess not using any of that would make the run a lot harder, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to know more about the whole Devil May Cry series, we did cover this 3 episodes ago? I think it was 3 episodes ago. Yes, that makes sense. But yeah, Devil May Cry is a pretty fast-paced game and it looks ridiculous. I still don't quite know what's happening, but I don't think anyone will ever be able to explain it. Alright, and the next run is the worst named game I've ever seen, DMC Devil May Cry : Definitive Edition.
You got a split twice, by the way.
Oh.
Skip to.
I'm an idiot. Okay.
I just love the title you put in the thing, DMC, DMCD.
Yeah. So it's like the abbreviated bit is D, lowercase m, capital C, which is like on the box art, so you know it's right. And then Devil May Cry is like the name, but surely the May is capital, the same as the other letters, right? Normally you
Unless
only...
the DMC stands for something else.
Maybe, but you normally only like...
It's just like ATM machine or PIN number.
Yeah. ATM the moment.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, anyway, less about the name, more about the run. I don't know anything about it, and we don't have any notes.
Yep.
So, yeah,
It was
this
beaten quickly.
I do know that this is like the latest Devil May Cry game they released. I'm not sure everyone in the fan base liked it because it was a bit more. It was like more edgy, less flashy, like edgy emo stuff. I don't know though. I barely remember the reviews when it came out. Yeah, a reboot. That's it. Yeah. So they're doing the whole like reboot thing of using the original title of the game, but except they just added the original title and an abbreviation. Like, there you go, it's on the screen. Like, what? Yeah, another Devil May Cry game. I imagine they're fairly similar. And this was in 1 hour 20 minutes by I forget their name.
By
Young.
Oh yeah.
2112. I've never heard of this person, and they apparently only run that game. So there you go then. Interesting. Okay, that's the notes. Okay. Next up is Mirror's Edge Any Percent in 28 minutes and 36 seconds by Mr. Walrus. This is a game we had on the show before, right?
Yes. It
Excellent.
is very complicated, very fast-paced. And Mr. Walrus has beaten it. I don't have any comments. I used to watch a bit of Mr. Walrus when I was eating dinner, but not lately. And I'm Mr. Walrus.
The comment on the speedrun.com page on there is helpful. It's just trademarked 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was apparently only beaten by 3 seconds compared to the...
That's how optimized this game is at this point. It is an incredible watch.
But yeah, if you want to learn about this game, again, we have an episode about it. And I seem to remember like kick flipping and maintaining momentum and stuff like that.
Kick glitching, momentum, and like flying, basically.
Yeah, all sorts of crazy stuff. But yeah,
the crazy stuff just happens like right away in the prologue. Like within 10 seconds, it just runs over the walls of like 7 different buildings, and you just kick glitches off of every one of them, and it's insane.
I guess it's like one of those games where all the glitches add way more depth to it rather than it just being you glitch through the game or you just do it normally. It's like the glitches, as well as making you go fast, like add
depth. Yeah, the
Yeah.
glitches make it a better game. Yeah, yeah. There's a few games like that, isn't there? But yeah, this is definitely one of those. Whereas if you were doing, I don't think anyone does a glitchless category of this, and it probably wouldn't be that interesting if they did. But yeah, like everyone in chat is saying, it's completely insane, and it's really, really optimized. So that's probably a really impressive run to watch. Right, shame we don't know more about it, but we did an episode about it, so go back and watch that, I guess. Here's
we
one.
do know about those.
Yeah, here's one we should know about.
This next one, Josh, you verified it.
I did verify it. Yes, I watched it a little bit, but unfortunately, Lel Reset's recording situation is really annoying. So it doesn't do with music or sound or anything. But anyway, here is GTA SA any percent in, I forget the time, by Lel Reset.
419.
410, yes.
Yes, a man born of a meme I created, named after it. And I managed to just go to the bit with a pause buffer in it. Fantastic. I wouldn't give anyone a seizure attack. But yeah, this is San Andreas, obviously. The game all three of us are pretty familiar with, actually, for once.
Yeah. I don't run the game, but I've watched it a lot, and I know a decent amount about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, this is a crazy run nowadays. Used to be fairly glitchless until we discovered duping. And then, it got a lot more broken the later in the game we go. But Lel Reset is just really good at this game. He doesn't speedrun anything but this, and he does this all the time. And he's very good at it. And it's very hard to beat him. His driving is just really good, and it's really hard to be faster than him. I've tried to, I feel like anyone compares to, his times in anything, it's ridiculous. And yeah, he's been trying to do a new run for a while, and he's back with a better run. So I'm sure he'll set another one. He actually failed a mission at some point as well.
Nice.
He failed. He did the old cutthroat business fail, where you drive in the BF injection, and there's a skip you can do by jumping over a lake and just hitting an invisible trigger at the other side. Unfortunately, he bounces around too much before the jump, and he lands in the lake before he hits the trigger and has to restart that.
Yeah, that's always the thing that when I'm watching it, it's always I know it's probably you get it most of the time. It's just oh god, sort of thing, because if you fail it, it's a whole bunch of time.
Yeah, it is. He does a really good job of recovering though, getting back to the mission start, and yeah, and then he just keeps going from there, and everything else is fine. But yeah, we'll probably see him back again. Lots of people really like this run. When the World Record bot tweeted about it, as soon as I verified it, it got a ton of likes and retweets and stuff. So a lot of people on speedrun.com like this run. And yeah, I'm sure KZ would check it frame by frame. I'm sure the whole community checks it frame by frame.
Yeah, one frame per person.
A lot of people think he's cheating, but no one's proved it. And until they do, I don't care. But I don't think he is, not from what I've seen. He's just does nothing else with his life. All right. Less borderline insulting someone. More moving on to the next game. This is Max Payne, Fugitive. Is that the game title or the category?
I think it's a category difficulty. I don't know.
Let me check.
Yeah, it's the category. The game is called Max Payne, the first one. The category is Fugitive, I guess the difficulty. In 53 minutes and 7 seconds by, hey, Joe Drinks Beer.
Yes.
I
and
didn't
I
know he
saw
was still
Joe Drinks
alive.
Beer got a real world record, that's why I included this, because I like Joe. But I also like this game, although I've not really played it. But it has some cool tricks in it, I think, where you can jump extra high if you switch weapons while you jump.
Yes.
I'm not too familiar with... I'm a bit more familiar with the Max Payne 2. Still not very familiar, but there's some neat tricks in this.
Just quickly turn on my light.
Yeah, I remember watching this at some point, and I remember watching that glitch where they jump over things. I think we had someone on the show who knew about the game and told us where to look. But yeah, there's some out of bounds. You can gain a tiny bit of extra height, and with that you can go out of bounds and stuff in certain places.
Yeah.
I would scrub to try and find it, but it's the Twitch player, so I don't want to sit here on a swirly thing for 20 minutes. So.
Yeah, good job to Joe, and I want to see more of this, Joe. So Get to it.
Looks like one of those games where diagonal movement is faster because he's only moving diagonally. Oh dear, I love those games. So much
The
fun.
joys of early 2000s games.
Yeah.
Or late 90s games.
Oh, that dinging was my sound, by the way. All right, but yeah, that's Max Payne. Pretty good run. How many people have actually done runs of this? Not many. I really thought more people would do more of this. Was it that popular a series? It's Rockstar, right?
Not really.
I guess
I-
this was before GTA 3, so it's like before they went like superstar status.
That makes sense. Yeah. I know
Even
there's.
the series itself, like Rockstar, really is just GTA, and then the other games are just other games.
Yeah, it's like Rockstar. It's the GTA guys. Well, they also make some other games as well, like Rockstar Presents Table Tennis. Truly the best game.
Rockstar is just GTA. Oh, and some other games we don't care about. You know.
Yeah.
The other games are so good. Ah. Okay. All right. And then finally, to cap it all off, the last run that I found at the last minute is Big Rigs Over the Road Racing in any percent in 38 seconds. That's loadless, so it's the real time is 1 minute 30 seconds by Mr. DJ. So we can watch the entire run. I hope you're ready for this.
All right.
So
I
I
need
don't
to
know.
mentally prepare myself for this.
Do you guys know about this? I guess Atem does.
Yeah.
The one where you go infinitely fast and you go backwards.
Yes, that's
that's the
that one.
It's
I wonder if there's
Uh,
like speed tech around that, like going super fast, but also main. Oh, I guess it is. Yeah.
Yeah, they go backwards the whole. They do the course in reverse order.
Oh yeah.
just- they
What
just-
what do I expect?
Yeah, so the way you win is you hit all of the triggers, and then the game doesn't care which order you do it, so they just go backwards through the level, which is actually pretty impressive. Like, look at this. Like,
yeah.
can you
Yeah,
try
the thing
to
is,
hit
like-
something that big going that fast in a truck backwards? Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Surprisingly optimized.
Yeah, and there's the famous
You
"You're a
winner."
winner," which is grammatically correct, sort of. It just sounds really weird. And then here's the major speed tech of this game. I have researched this extensively. Here's the major speed tech. So when you hit all of the triggers in a level and then start another level, it doesn't undo the "you hit all triggers" bit.
Goodness.
So you instantly win the race. So you do every race, and you do you start with the shortest one, and then you do all the others, and you instantly win every time because it never unloads any of the fucking variables, and you just win instantly.
Isn't this like, because I assumed it was just like one run, or like one race, 38 seconds. But isn't there like some tracks that just like insta crash the game? Like, what do you do with those ones? Is it like you end the run on that? Like when the game crashes, you've hit time or something?
Yeah, I think it's like you start the level that crashes the game, and then that's time, I believe. I might be wrong. Yep, there it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
literally what
Yeah.
happened. Crash the desktop. So yeah, the timing ends when you load the level that doesn't load. It's fantastic. Yeah, so those who don't know, that's the famous Big Rigs Over the Road Racing game, which was like a real game that was released in 2000 and something.
For real money. Let's emphasize that. For real money.
Real money, and it was 5 levels, only 4 of them worked, and there's no collision
it
with
was-
anything.
I think it was that 3 of them worked, and they had to release a patch that fixed the 4th one by just like having the same track twice. Or like the same track but in reverse.
I think it was something like, yeah, I think the original patch, it was just U-O-U-O-U-R.
I remember it being the wrong your, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
now
I
it's
think it's
changed it to the other your.
couldn't be
Here's-
asked to fix anything else. It's just like, oh yeah, the most important thing.
But yeah, here's the speedrun.com page for it. I thought I'd show that off. It's just your winner everywhere. It's fantastic. There's actually a battle for the world record happening right now. So
Your work of art.
JV set the record 2 days ago, and then Mr. DJ came and claimed the new one. So if you're interested in getting a very prestigious, currently contested world record, consider totally purchasing a copy of Big Rigs Over the Road Racing and trying it out.
Support the developers.
Support the developers, yes. Support
Have the
them.
developers made anything else after this?
I'm pretty sure one of them moved on to work on that game, the Warzy, that turned into like Warring and Plague Infested or something. So
Oh,
it was like one of
yeah.
the early. I know Total Biscuit did a video on it because it was like one of the first like impressively bad video games, or like one of the most recently impressively bad like cashing in on Daisy games.
Yeah, it was one of those early access survival zombie games.
Yeah.
But it was like really badly made, and there was no refunds and stuff like that. Yeah, it was a cash grab.
But I'm sure I read that one of the people there, like the head designer, worked on it. But take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Yeah, I think they're playing Patch. Yeah, Patch makes it so the AIs move. That's it.
Oh yeah,
but-
just the AI just don't move at all in the other one.
Yeah, but the thing is, the AI can't win in the new one.
Yeah,
they
they just
move,
stop
they
at-
go all the way to the finish, but then nothing happens, and you just the game only ends when you win.
I'm surprised that you could make it to the finish. I would have just expected them to press W and go forward forever.
Well, apparently they pathfind correctly.
Nice.
All right, so that was all the world records we could find for this week. If there were any we missed, you should have told us about them with our submission form, or with our Discord, or with my Twitch chat, which some people did. So yeah, if you see anyone watching, if you see a cool world record next week, let us know about it, and let us know a bit of information about it, so we don't just speculate based on the video. And we'll cover it. So yeah, that was all the records that week. We'll move on. Oh, right on the hour mark. Perfect timing. Look at that.
Nice.
And we'll move on to In the Spotlight. So obviously we have Atem here with us, and he is here to talk mostly about Fable: The Lost Chapters Any Percent, which I have a video of, and which I will load. There we are. So yeah, introduce us to Fable, and then we'll find specific timestamps, I guess.
Alright, so Fable's an action RPG game that was released in 2004 on Xbox and then later on PC as The Lost Chapters. It was made by Peter Molyneux, so take with that what you will, but it's an action RPG where it's like all about choices and stuff, but it's also a game I speedrun, funny enough, so it's this is the any percent run for Fable: The Lost Chapters, which is the most active run out of all of them, so it's probably the most popular like game people play as well. But it's been my main speed game of choice for 3 years now almost. So
Damn.
yeah, I guess we can move on to bits in the run.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I should have put it up. Let me just grab it in Discord.
Yeah, I can't open the notes while I'm watching it, so I need more
Yeah,
screens.
So here we go. So yeah, like the one about the buy selling glitch. So there's like a pretty well known glitch in the run, like just immediately starting out, because the game has like an economy system where you're like, oh yeah, you can, if a merchant has a lot of an item, they'll sell it for really cheap and you can buy it in bulk, but if they don't have much of an item, they buy it for a high price in bulk. And the in bulk bit is important because they don't actually check to see if you just bought it from them, so you can like buy 100 of an item from them for like, say for instance 100 gold, and then sell it back to them for 200 gold. And you can see how this can be a little bit broken, but
Oh god. Yeah. Okay.
so I think that's at 9 minutes 25 that it happens. But it happens a lot quicker and with more gold. So we buy two. I think it's 100 and something apple pies and 50 something grain sacks, and then we sell it back. And to give you some perspective, the first quest we did is like a sizable amount for that part of the game is 500 gold, and this takes about 20 seconds and gives us about 3,000 gold. Just starting out immediately. So that means we can like play around with the and get like pretty powerful weapons to start out with, which means that the start of the game is pretty straightforward. It's not like you're going to die at any point really, and then that carries you through a little bit of the game, and then you then buy and sell even more later on. I think it's 19 minutes 44.
19. Okay, I'll go there.
And you've got about 5,000 gold at this point. You're ready to take on the world, and you get about 150,000 gold.
Flipping
about
hell.
a minute. Yeah.
Jesus. So you're supposed to have like what, 50?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, you have like about 5,000 gold at this point, which is like you can buy some decent weapons, get some armor, potions, all of that, and it's like, nope, you got 150,000 gold. Yeah, just like in real life, this is how it works. That means that you can basically just get in-game weapons right near the start. So within the first 20 minutes, you've already got weapons that like rival the ones you'd get at the end of the game. So
Oh, here we go.
Pretty amazing.
so yeah. So first you work your way up because you can't buy the most expensive thing in bulk to start with. So you start with the little stuff and then you work your way up. So you start buying and selling emeralds there, and you get about 10,000 gold per piece. So you just basically get what you need to go through the rest of the run. Yeah, so that's one of the things. And then there's another thing which I think was mentioned before, which is there's a few other things. So there's fishing, which is complete bollocks and should never be in the game ever. And it's just like a mini game where you have to just the fish reels itself or like fights back, and then you wait, and then you click to let the fish in. But then it's also like really broken in that it will instantly, as soon as the fish starts biting back, it will say, right, no, if you keep clicking now, the line will snap. But then it's also random on how like quote unquote strong the fish is. So like you can have a fish that barely bites back at all and you can just instantly get in like 5 seconds, or you can spend several minutes on it because you got a bad fish that like instantly snaps the line. So that's fun. And yeah, what you're seeing on the screen right now is probably some of the biggest tech that was found, which is summon clipping.
Do you want to go back?
And this was was actually found by this was actually a thing for like years and years. Like there was videos on similar stuff 10 years ago, because it's basically based on 2 spells. There's a summon which like summons a little creature to fight beside you, and that is basically just a portable hitbox for this glitch. And then there's Assassin's Rush, which is also good for moving because it like propels you forward. But also, if there's an enemy in front of you, you'll like zip behind it, or an ally, it will zip behind it. So if done at the right angle, it basically just ignores the fact that there's a wall in the way, and we're just like, right, okay, you're going behind this thing, which is also behind the wall or behind the gate in this case. It doesn't work for everything, otherwise it would be insanely broken. But if done right, it will let you like clip through gates and stuff, which basically breaks open an entire quest. But yeah, it's been known for ages on YouTube, like because you could use it to like get over some like small fences, because there's no actual jump button in this game. So if there's a small fence, you're basically done for. So you'd use it to get into like a few unintended areas. But then in November of 2014, a runner by the name of Valiant North was like, oh, hey, you can do all this cool stuff with it. And you're like, oh, wow, this is really cool. And then nothing happened for a few months. And then we figured out, oh, hey, here's a consistent way how to do it. And then we've just been like working on that, like finding out easier ways to do it, sort of thing. Because at the first, it was like really consistent. You was just basically pressing a button and then trying to and hoping it works. But now you have like good angles and stuff for it.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
What else we got?
One other glitch that is one that they should have checked for, but surprise, surprise, they didn't. Is the one labeled force push glitch. It's at 34 minutes 30 seconds.
34 minutes 30 seconds. Yeah, okay, close enough.
So there's a bit of the game that's the arena, which is just basically you fight for a whole bunch of time. You fight a bunch of enemies in waves. And there's a spell that's called force push, and as the name would suggest, you use it and it pushes enemies back a little bit. It does some damage. So not only does it cancel animation, so if someone's dying and it takes a die, not only does it cancel the animation, it also doesn't actually check to see if the thing you're trying to push is actually alive or not. So if there's a dead body on the floor and you use force push on it, you'll still like do quote unquote damage to it, which will increase there's like a combo meter thing called combat multiplier, and the more of that you get, the more XP you get. So
right.
So you'll see in a sec, there's just like, you'll kill a bunch of enemies in a group, and then you'll just keep force pushing the ground to just get your combat multiplier up. And it shouldn't work, but it does. And then obviously the more enemies you have on the ground, the more combat multiplier you get, and it gets a bit silly. So I think within the first wave of the arena, there's 9 waves, and we pass our best that took like 2 minutes to get in the past. We beat it in like a few seconds, just because of all of that, and you just get a whole bunch of XP, and it's amazing. It's like, yeah, go on.
Are there other spells that damage dead bodies, or just this one?
Well, this one's the best one. There's like one other one, but it takes ages to use. And this one is like, it's pretty cheap to cast, and it doesn't have much of a cooldown. You can see I'm just using it freely. And then summon is like there's so many spells that could say, oh yeah, this is definitely the most broken spell. Like you can see I've got a barrier up at the moment, like a blue shield around me, and that just means that any damage I take will be taken from magic instead, which is great because also it means your combat meter doesn't drop, because when you take damage, your combat meter drops and you lose out on XP. But if you've got this up, it just means that any damage you take will just take away some of your magic.
Right.
That just means you can get like insane combos off. And then as well as that, summon, which is the spell we used to clip before. It turns out we found recently, you can put it on multiple, like you've got a hotbar where you can put like spells and all of that, and you can put it on multiple buttons on the hotbar. It also has 0 cooldown and is really cheap to cast. So if you put it on like 4 different keys at once with a high combo meter and just like spam it like crazy, you can just get a huge amount of XP.
For God's sake.
Yeah. Again, they fixed that one for the recent HD remake anniversary, so you can't put it on multiple keys. But we just like use a mouse button and the hotbar, so it still works, kind of.
Jesus. Okay, so you can get infinite gold, you can get infinite XP. Like, What else did they mess up?
What else is there? So there's the prison, if that counts as messing something up, which is basically is 10 minutes of you sitting in a jail cell listening to people talk, and then you doing a race and listening to a guy do a poem, and then doing it a second time. And that takes about 10 minutes of time up, and is the worst part of any run. Because I think I've labelled it in notes as "this sucks," because there's nothing you do. It's basically just the toilet break moment, because there's nothing you do. And that's we actually run the game in French, and that's the only reason why, is because the voice acting's fastest in French.
I did wonder.
There's actually also a bit of an embarrassing story about languages in this game. So I'd have thought about this like years and years ago of, oh hey, it should be faster running the game in a different language, but I couldn't figure out how to actually change the language of the game itself, because there's no like language setting or anything. So I was like, oh, how do I do this? I was like, do I make a Japanese, like, because my first thought was Japanese is the fastest. So like, oh hey, do I make an Amazon Japanese account and just get a copy of Fable from there? And I was like Googling and finding all this stuff. And then I just saw this post on the Steam forum. It's like, oh yeah, you just go to Steam settings and there's a language option with a drop down. Just change that. And I was like, I've been looking for this for a year, and it was just looking at me in the face the whole time. So we just sat down and timed it out, and we found out that French was the fastest. Japanese is surprisingly only a few seconds faster than English. Only a couple of seconds.
Yeah, I think Japanese is only faster if you really like written text.
That's what I was going to say. Written text is faster, but not speech.
Yeah, for speech, it's usually like those Latin languages like French. French seems to be really fast most of the time.
Yeah, I think I've got a note somewhere. Yeah, so the ranking is where is it? I guess I didn't save the document. But I think it's French, then Russian, then German, Spanish, Japanese, English, and then Italian is the slowest. And the Russian one actually had to acquire a copy of it because the Steam version is like it's region locked for it. I had to find a copy online on a legitimate website to see if it was faster. Luckily, it isn't, because otherwise it would be like, oh hey, I want to run the game and be competitive. Oh hey, here's like a link to a legitimate site.
Yeah, that was like get a very specific version of the game. It'd be better,
Yeah.
you just change it. That's good.
But yeah,
How much longer is this fight going on for?
Well, it's a bunch of different waves, so it's like I think it's at the halfway mark. So it's like it's basically the halfway mark between the run. So after this, it's the second half of the run, which gets a lot
God,
more
it's still
streamlined.
going. Still going. Jesus. Hey, there we go. Okay, I'll leave it there.
Yeah, that's just afterwards. And then the thing that Big Law in chat wants me to talk about is Aeon's clip, which I think we had mentioned in the in one of the previous episodes, which is that like the whole point of the game is like you stop this evil guy, and he wants to find this evil sword sort of thing, which is obviously super powerful. Turns out it's just lying under the floor of one of the areas in the game that you can access right at the start of the game. It's just under the floor, and it's only because of like a cutscene that lasts for about 20 seconds. Like it floats up into the air, and that's the only reason it actually exists in the world. Otherwise, it wouldn't actually. This glitch wouldn't be possible.
Where is that in this?
It's under the first one. It's like a separate category in the doc.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'll have a look then.
It's labeled as Aeon's clip.
All right, I want to have a look. So Aeon's clip.
This one.
I'll go to first time it was performed, I guess, or no?
It was the first time it was found in the ground. So it was actually found, like, discovered that it was under the ground by complete accident, because the
Okay.
world record holder of the run, KJ Freshly, he found it when he was just doing a run. It was on world record pace, and then the game just like had a fit for a moment. To this day, we still have no idea what happened. You'll see, the game just goes black. There's normally meant to be a cutscene. Like, there's a guy that's meant to be there. He's not. And then when the cutscene finishes in a few seconds.
Wait, so he just like accidentally skipped half the game?
No. This is part of the fight. Like, he's still part of the fight. But it's just that this is a quest where you'd normally get the sword, and you can see he's like.
He's not happy about this, yeah.
Yeah, he's not happy about this. The game's not happy about what's happening to it. And then when the camera finally kicks into gear in a few seconds, hopefully.
I'll skip to when it is.
Yeah.
Here, there you go.
Yeah. Seconds, he says, like a minute.
Yeah.
So obviously it's run over, but then the camera kicks in. He's like, "Oh hey, he's under the ground," and then there's just the sword on the floor there. And you can see his reaction. He's just like, it's not meant to be there. So we had this like crazy hunt to try and find out how to get there, because obviously if you get there at the start of the game, you've got an end game weapon like super quickly. So the two people who were working towards it the most were there was a runner by the name of Temasong, and also a guy named Valiant North, who also found out the summon clipping thing. So he was gone for like 2 years. He just suddenly came back, started streaming, trying to find glitches. I was like, "Oh hey, have you heard about this Aeon's clip thing that we've been trying to find?" He's like, "Oh, let me give it a try." 10 minutes later, he's already figured it out. So that's
Nice.
And it's just like, we've been trying at this for like a year, and you just gain like 10 minutes.
So what was the secret?
It turns out you need to have it again relies on summon and using Assassin's Rush again. But it's just that you need a very specific summon. So the first one you start out with is like a little wasp that like slightly floats above the ground. And that's the main thing, is that its hitbox is like tall enough that you can like, it's above the ground and below the ground as well. So I think it's the on the dock, it's the one where it says first time it was performed.
Okay, I'll have a look. First time it was performed. Okay.
Yeah, so this is him like testing it out, and like just with the default summon thing. And like, first of all, we were thinking, oh yeah, let's push it under the ground and then try doing it. But it's just like, oh yeah, if you like nudge it slightly by walking into it, like that, and then you just rush under the floor. Yeah. And this was like a big moment because it's such a crazy find. So we gradually streamlined that and we found out how to get it consistently. But then, funny enough, over time we found out that it only saves like a tiny amount of time, if not it's the exact same time as just doing the run normally, because you have to take some detours and get some different upgrades.
Aww.
So it's a really cool thing to do at like a marathon or something, or just like even like one of the top runners, Big Law, does it in runs, and it's like perfectly competitive. But it's just that it's too bad it doesn't just save like minutes and minutes and minutes of time.
So why is it a different category then? Or
Well, no, it's not a different category just because basically
okay.
after the second half of the run, like after the arena, it's basically the same run. There's no point in splitting it in two.
right?
It's like it's just a different route.
Yeah. Okay. It's awesome though. It's a shame it's not like the Master Sword in Zelda and it like trigger a cutscene or something like that.
Yeah.
That takes you to the other half of the game. That'd be really cool. Yeah, it's so funny that they just have the actual item just sat under there. Like, why?
Yeah, because like if you didn't know it was there, you'd have no idea. Like, well, it went hidden for like 10 years before someone found out. But yeah, it's just bizarre. And yeah, it's also useful for other categories. So there's actually the original Xbox release of the game is actually almost a completely different game. So they made some changes. They added a few quests for the version you're seeing right now. But the Xbox version of the game is like the original release. And it was a bit more broken. So the base damage in this game is 230 of the sword. And then in the original one, it's 550 because it's literally meant to be the last thing you get. So it means that essentially everything else about the run is like worse, apart from that, which makes the run like good sort of thing. So if it wasn't for that, it'd be super slow. But then this just basically carries you through the game. But then the other downside of the Xbox Fable version, I think that's in the notes as well, is labeled as shitload, is the loads are absolutely abysmal. Because it's on the original Xbox.
Oh yeah, those early disc consoles are terrible for that. Some games.
Yeah, it's like there's one bit where like it's meant to be like 3 cutscenes in a row, and then you walk up to a thing, and like I had one instance where it was just loading throughout the whole time, and the way it works is it just like if it loads, like the skip cutscene button, if the game hasn't loaded but you can press the button, it'll just like right that cutscene's gone. So it'll just be a black screen with loading. So it was like 20 seconds of a black loading screen, and then I was just suddenly in the next area of like doing stuff.
Great.
So someone asked about the version on the 360. So the load times are actually, I think, a bit faster, but then the game is a bit more laggy and a bit more crashy. But it's again something we should test.
All right. What else we got? Let's have a look at these
The other
notes.
thing, which is, it'd be really cool if you could do this and run properly, but it's too bad, is it's labeled as any % Bowerstone launch.
Right, shall I watch the first time it happened?
Yeah, so this was actually found on the same day as the Aeons clip thing. Because like
Right.
as soon as it happened, we all like jumped in Discord. It's like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's like, oh, while we're here, should we try this other thing? And then it was found within like 15 minutes. So there's just this other holy grail sort of thing. So yeah, basically what it is there's a piece of foliage that you can sort of roll up, and then when you roll up at a specific angle, it can launch you up in the air. Because like I guess the hitbox gets puzzled or something.
Right, so is that what that is?
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
The fuck?
Because basically Bowerstone North is like an area that like it's blocked off, and it's like, hey, you can't come here early. You need to be more famous or something. And it's like it's like surprisingly well built because we've tried every trick in the book. Like you can save and load, and you'll be like by the exit to it, but then the cutscene where it says, oh hey, you can't come through, will instantly start. Or like there's a glitch where you can like in the original game where you can like dig out of bound and stuff, but you can't do that in this version. So it's just like, again, something we've been trying to do for years, because the merchant in the next area sells the most powerful weapon in the game. He just sells it. So I mean, you could buy and sell and just like get a bunch of. You could get all the gold you want right at the start of the game, and also have the most broken weapon right at the start of the game as well. But you can see it's really hard. First of all, it's really hard to perform. Like I think I've only had it happen like 5 times. I've tried it a whole bunch, and then also getting a good launch is also more difficult because it's like when you're out of bounds, you can't move normally. You have to like basically sneak walk in a very specific way, which is what he's trying to do here. And then yeah, Big Law saying the one where it's labeled as best launch is basically the only thing that would be remotely worth doing in a run, but it's only ever happened once.
Best launch we've ever gotten. Okay, yep.
And it mostly just speaks for itself. Can you see it?
I'm loading it. I'm loading it.
Dramatic build up.
Here you go.
Yeah.
So we're lining up on this bush.
Yeah, it's like a piece of trash, and then he rolls into it. And he rolls right into the area transition.
What the hell?
Yeah, so like basically it's like it probably just moved him sideways, and like the area transition's just like a bit of the. So like once you walk through those doors, the area will it will change to the next area. But that's like the best that we've ever gotten. But it's super inconsistent. Otherwise, again, that would be really awesome to do. So yeah.
I had the sound on.
It was probably just us freaking out.
No, it's just Big Law just goes, "Oh, check my stream." Yeah, he said it in chat. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. So that's it. It's fun to mess around with, but other than that, and then the other thing, which is like another holy grail, is what we call prison skip. So as I mentioned before, prison is like 10 minutes of doing nothing. So obviously you go into an area, you wait for 10 minutes, and then you go back the same way. So obviously the first thought is, oh yeah, how can you skip it? And the short answer is you can't, because believe me, I've tried. Because like what it is you basically go to rescue your mother. You go back the way you came, and then you get stopped in the middle of like, oh ha, you fell into my trap, something like that. You get sent to jail. You stay in jail for like a few minutes, but there's no way out of that cell at all. Like, we even tried like slowing down the game to like super slow speed, and then like, it also disables your magic, so you don't even think about summon clipping out, and takes away all your like belongings. So. Like we thought, oh yeah, let's slow down the game to like a minimum amount of speed and just clip and try and clip through during the like millisecond you have summon. Nope, doesn't work. I even tried modding it so that you actually spawn outside the jail cell, but then it thinks you're doing a prison race, which like is like, oh yeah, the warden's locked this door, you can't escape just yet, and that doesn't work either. So nothing works. The closest we've gotten is that you can actually summon clip past the trigger for getting caught, and actually walk all the way back, but then it doesn't realize that you're that way through the quest, so just nothing happens.
Damn.
So I guess also announcement, I mentioned it before, but if anyone can find a way to skip prison, you will be the rightful owner of £100.
Wow.
So, yeah. It'll save that much time that I'm willing to put that much money towards it. That, yeah. So get your speedrunning caps on. Yeah.
There you go.
So.
Someone get on it.
Yeah, the bounty. It's official. It's been said here.
Official 100. Oh, great. You got to hurry up because the pound's only going down in value too. So.
It might have to change to euros soon, but. Yeah. So that's Fable Lost Chapters any percent, and that's the main category. So the world record is 1:19:56 by KJ Freshly, and it's an absolutely insane time that no one's even come close to. I think the second place is 1 hour 22 minutes, and then I'm like 1 hour 25, but we don't talk about that. So yeah, it's been on the back burner a while for me. So yeah, that's a thing. The other category I enjoy doing a lot is 100% for the game. So 100% is, as you'd imagine, it's an RPG, but it's surprisingly, like, for an RPG, it's not too long. So it's about it's under 3.5 hours. And 100% is kind of, it's not the right name for it because it doesn't actually have an 100% counter in the game. But there's stuff that is tracked, so we sort of sat down, put our thinking caps on, and was like, right, what would, if the game was to have 100%, what sort of stuff would it have in it? So like getting all the hidden silver keys that open silver chests, so getting all of those and opening all of those, completing all the quests, obviously, maxing out all your stats, getting all the trophies, like when you finish a quest, you'll get a trophy and stuff for it, and then there's like demon doors, which are like, there's basically a door with a face. It gives you a riddle, and then you solve the riddle, it opens it, and there's something cool inside, like a legendary weapon, which you have to get all of. So that's actually a really fun category, and what you're seeing now is one of the reasons why I don't run it more often.
Fishing, yeah.
I
thought I'd start
it's
with
fishing,
this.
but even worse because basically there's like fishing spots where there's guaranteed to be an item, so that's where we'd normally do it in speedruns, so we'd get a guaranteed item of some kind. Whereas this one, you have to fish up a fish of a specific weight, so it has to be at least 50 grams, which is easier said than done because the stronger the fish, the harder it is to reel in. Sometimes it will just be a really difficult fish, and it will just be like 5 grams. You'll be like, I've wasted my time. But what you see there is the best RNG we've ever gotten for that in the world record run, because like you have a minute where it's just like waiting, and I managed to fish up a 50-gram fish there. Normally you get like a 20-gram fish, and that's like the only time we've ever gotten it. We didn't even know it was possible until then, because you need it for like a prize to finish a quest. Like you need to get a fish of 50 grams, which is fun. It's not fun at all.
Now you're beating some kids up. Like what?
Oh wait, well, it's just regular villagers.
Okay.
This is the fist fighters. I guess it's like I guess it's the fight club of the game. You just beat up people, and they beat up you.
Great.
I think Josh is familiar with 100% runs that involve beating up people.
Which one would that
I don't
be?
get it.
The Ballad of Gay Tony.
Oh right.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Of course.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
It's kind of
How
like a
did I
similar
not-
deal to that, except you don't throw at the end. That's not part of it. But so there's four different versions of the fist fighters, and the last one is like completely bollocks because like you have to do 50 hits on him, whereas if he gets 2 hits off on you, it's game over. Well, it's over, and you have to wait. Also, it can only be done at night, so you have to like route the game properly to make sure that it's done at night. Yeah. And then the other reason I don't run it often is pub games, and Clean Sarah, who's in chat, is probably going to laugh at me for this because they're basically just like little mini games. Like there's a memory game, which I'm absolutely terrible at, or there's one which I hate with a passion, and it's basically the only reason I don't run the game actively, which is Spot the Addition, which is like, oh, hey, here's a thing, we're going to cover it, and there's going to be an extra thing. What was the extra thing? And then it ramps itself up. And my small mind can't take it. It's a surprisingly tough, like, you need to get a high score to get, like, there's a hero doll which finishes a quest. Like, you get little dolls of, like, people throughout the game. Yeah, you can see. And normally we do a trick where if there's a spell called Slow Time, which slows down time, and you can use it and then talk to the person, it will slow down the timer. Obviously, it's a bit slower, but it's a lot safer. But this is the only run, again, going down to being super lucky. This is the only run where I was like, oh, you know what, screw it, I'll do it without the timer, and I get it perfectly. No, I can't replicate it. Yeah, it's not fun at all. So that's the other reason I don't run the game more actively. Because it is actually a really fun category. So the quests in the game are also really broken. So if you skip to about 1 minute, well, 1:34 dead on,
134.
there's a quest where basically you go from one side of the map to the other and rescue a guy. There's a trader and he needs to be brought back to his brother. And again, force push comes into play here, but not in the way you'd think. So he runs really slow and doesn't like it when there's like enemies. So we just sort of push him in the right direction with force push and then just heal him up. So yeah, he'll say one voice line every time you do it. He's like, "Get me out of here!" Every time
Alright.
you force push him.
All right, I'm turning on the volume. Here we go.
Good thing I can't hear it, is it?
Yeah.
Way, get me out, way.
So it's actually a really amazing strat. It saves a bunch of time and it's like really fun to do. And like someone who's new to it is just like, this is hilarious. But
Jesus, yeah, you are pushing him quite the distance.
yeah, he can get
Hey.
some good air from that. And then there's one quest that we found out recently. I only found out that it was broken by playing it casually. I think it's at 156. His label is completely broken quest. There's a quest.
156.
There's like two sides to a quest. There's like you can either do the good side where you basically escort a guy to be executed and his friends try and stop you along the way, but it's really slow because like it's just you following some people. Or there's like the evil way, which is that you kill the guy who's going to kill him, which is originally that was the faster way. It's like, oh yeah, we go and kill the guy. It saves like a few minutes, great. But no, the good way is faster because at the end of the quest, the prisoner who you're taking to be executed is actually I'll let it speak for itself. So the guy you're taking to be executed is executed at the end of the quest. But again, shoddy programming. The quest literally takes a few seconds. So
Can you execute him yourself?
you'll have to find out.
So is this what we're watching?
Yeah, so the quest is starting just now. So it's like, oh hey, you're finally here. Let's escort the guy.
So you do just kill him.
Yeah, you literally just kill him, and it's like, oh hey, you completed the quest. Well done.
Oh my
Congratulations. It only checks for, oh yeah, the guy's actually dead. So the quest must be finished surely. And yeah, I found it by complete accident when playing through the game casually, because like I think it was a guy shot an arrow and it hit him and he died, but I didn't notice that. So all I saw was quest completed halfway through. I'm like, wait, what? I just see his dead body on the floor, and I put two and two together. It's like, oh, okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's... so there's like there's good bits and bad bits to the run, and like they balance each other out. It's not like the good bits outweigh the bad, so it's an amazing category, but it's not like the bad bits outweigh the good, and you should never run this because it's bollocks. Because then the other thing that's just bollocks is more RNG with Squam's bow, which is a bow where you get it because there's like an evil chapel. You have to sacrifice people to get quote unquote rewards. And then if you sacrifice someone at midnight, the whole trick is that you get this. You basically get the highest reward, which is a legendary bow, which you need to get. But it's not always midnight. It depends on how good or evil you are. It can be a little bit before, a little bit after. It depends on like who your follower is, how much health he has, what the game had for breakfast that morning, how it's feeling, sort of thing. It doesn't play nice. So I was really lucky to get it in 2 tries. It's I think 2 hours 40 minutes.
2
So I got
hours,
it-
40 minutes.
I think it's 2 hours 40 minutes dead on.
Right, a few seconds before. Okay.
So I think this is the one where I messed it up. So I've got I hired 2 henchmen, basically make a save in front of him and then try, but then you have to wait a little bit because you have your only visual reference is a tiny clock in the corner that doesn't actually have any dials or anything. It's just like it points at either the sun or the moon sort of thing. I think you can see in the very top right corner. It needs to be like basically exactly in the middle. You just have to wait there and hope you get it.
So this thing.
Yeah, the one just to the right of it.
Oh, this.
Yeah. So it points up, and basically once it's pointing up and it's directly in the middle, that's when you should sacrifice. Yeah. And that's what I have to do during run. I have to basically
Jesus.
get up with my chair and really look at the screen. Yeah. But then afterwards, there's a really hilarious strat. It's at 242. And this is the way because there's some spells in the game that you can only max out when you're completely evil. So the quickest way to get maximum evil for a while, the original strat was you divorce your wife by beating her up. That was the first way. The second way was that after you finish a quest, there's a guy that's invincible. There's a quest character that's invincible that you have to either kill with a certain sword or save. Whereas if you equip a different weapon, you can just hit them to no end, and you get a whole bunch of evil for doing that.
So beating up your wife, torturing someone. Keep going.
Not only someone, it's your sister in the game lore.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Keep going.
And then there's this way, which is you dupe a bunch of villagers using a glitch, and then just kill them all. And also you use force push because that gives you evil as well, because of course it does. And then you can see the horns growing in real time with that. You also just look at someone while you do it just for fun because he's next or something. But yeah, this is like another glitch where basically there's like a boasting podium where you can say, oh yeah, I will do this quest without taking damage, or I'll do this quest not wearing anything. And like a bunch of people run up and be like, oh, hey, yay, he's going to do that, yay. But then if you leave or if you teleport back in, it will spawn another set of those people who are like, oh, hey, he's going to do the thing. So if you do this like 5 or 6 times, it'll spawn about 40 villagers, all just clumped up together. And then you can just kill them all in one big frenzy and get a bunch of evil really quickly. And that's the fastest way we do it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so it's a very fun category. Like it's fun to do casually and it's fun to do in a speed run, but just the bad bits are very bad.
Yeah, I imagine that's the way with most 100% runs, right? Like,
yeah,
it's like you add a lot more stuff into any percent. It's just whether that stuff you add is good or not.
Yeah, it's basically just. Although to be fair, it's like only a couple of like really bad bits, and they're either RNG or because I have the memory of a goldfish.
Well, yeah, for me, like, you reminded me of Gay Tony 100%. It's like you have to dance, you have to be a nightclub bouncer like 8 times, which is really boring. Yeah. There's loads of other stupid crap. But then there's lots of other really good stuff, like jumping off buildings and things like that. It's great.
Yeah. Like there's another pub game that's called Coin Golf, and I get a bit embarrassed anytime someone even mentions it, because it was the first of all, that was the reason I didn't actually learn the category, because I'd never done it successfully before, and it's just basically you have a coin and you get the trajectory right and put it into a little goal, but I was never good at it, and then I got pretty good at it, and then there was the world record run I got before this one. So this is a 3 hours 21 minutes, and I got 3 hours 30 minutes 43. And the only reason I didn't get sub 3:30 is because at the end of the run, basically after you've done all the hard bits and it's just like easy bits, there's one last bit of coin golf you have to do, and I spent 3.5 minutes on it when it should take 30 seconds.
Great.
And then I was just getting more and more frustrated because I wasn't getting it. I finally got it, but the sub 3:30 was gone by then, and I was very sad. But yeah,
that sounds like pool in Gay Tony 100%. Or
yeah,
air
exactly.
hockey.
It is basically just pool, but with obstacles.
Jesus. All right.
So yeah, that's 100%. And then there's going to be the one I'm running at ESA plug, which is Fable Anniversary any percent. And this one, even more broken in terms of buying and selling stuff.
Really?
Yeah. So I think it's 9:26. So they revamped the menus of the run, or they revamped the menus of the game, so it more resembles the original game. So the way it works is that as you said, you can buy stuff in bulk. And then the thing to note about the game is that it came out on PC in not a very good state. It came without mouse support to start with, so the mouse support was added as an afterthought. And you might have to run through actually replay this clip a few times because it goes so quickly once it's done. But the way it works is that you can select. Oh yeah, I want to buy all of X items, so 100 of apples, which cost 1 gold. And then you can also just click out of it and just select something else. Basically, I'm oversimplifying it, but you can just sort of say, no, actually, I'm going to this category. It's like, oh hey, here's this expensive item, and oh yes, it still says you've got 100 selections, so you must have 100. So here, let me sell 100 of this item. So that's the way we do it in the run. We buy 200 apples for like 200 gold. We buy one wedding ring, which costs about 1,000. Well, it's worth about 1,000 gold, and then you sell back 260 or like 200 wedding rings that you don't actually have.
For God's sake. How could they mess it up so bad? Jesus.
So if you go back to it, it'll probably make more sense. So
what time was it, sorry?
9 minutes and 26.
Yeah, I got it, there we go.
Yeah, that's the one. So yeah, he sells a few things to get enough gold. And before, when we got 3,000 gold, now we have 170,000 with all this. So yeah, we buy 200 apples and a wedding ring, and then we just go to sell it, and then nope, I want this instead. So now you have like 150,000 gold.
God damn it! Damn it!
And that means you get like the most broken weapons in the game, even earlier. Oh yeah, did I also mention it also works for upgrading your stats?
What? So when you level up, you can like pick
you can.
Go on.
So you can buy something cheap. So like an item that's like costs normally level 1. So like level 1 of an item is like 500 XP, but then you can change it for a few things. So select. Oh yeah, it costs 500. Buy it for 500, and then select something else that normally costs like 80,000 or something, and be like, yeah, this costs 500. Let's hit buy on that. And just like, right, okay, I've got this thing. It's maxed out now. The downside is though, it won't actually cost 500. It will actually cost the amount that of XP that you actually need for it. But the game doesn't seem to mind. It will just go into the minus figures for it. It will just be like, okay, you now have like minus 70,000 XP. Which actually works out pretty well in a few instances, because if there's the last time you upgrade, if you're a little bit short, you can be like, oh nope, I can just upgrade this and I'll go into the minus, but it's fine because I'll gradually gain that back as I do the run because I don't need to upgrade anymore. And then the one we found the one I found a few weeks ago, which is, oh hey, you can upgrade this item for the arena, which is that thing that was taking ages. And you can get this basically area of effect spell that does a bunch of damage and hits everything around it. So yeah, that saved about a minute of the run, which is always nice. So it's basically on par with the Lost Chapters NE% in terms of time. They're basically neck and neck, even though they do like completely different strats. Yeah. Okay,
cool. And this is the one you're doing at ESA, you said?
Yeah, and then the other really fantastic thing is there's a bit at the end of the game where you have to dig up, it's called Necropolis. And basically it's like, oh yeah, you have to dig up all these graves, and some of them have some stones in them that you're looking for. So at the start we were like, okay, great, we'll just dig up all the graves, and whenever we find them. It'll be RNG, and that's terrible, but that's all we can do. And then a runner and his brother by the name of Giant Steps, he found out, oh yeah, it turns out, so the graves are randomized each time, so you never know which one you're going to get. But also the you can basically interact with the graves, and it will have like a little message, like it will be like a name of a developer or like a little culture reference or something. And we found out that the names of the graves, if you read them, it will tell you what's in them basically. So we found out, okay, great. So instead of having to dig up, which is like 10 seconds each time, you just have to check it, which takes 2 seconds, which obviously shaved off a bunch of time. So now it's still RNG of having to check all the graves, or most of the graves, but it's a lot easier now. But then the anniversary version, it's fixed every time, so you know exactly where they are the first try, which is amazing. So it means it's way, the run is like way more RNG friendly in general, which is good. especially for a marathon that I'll be doing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Any other bits you want to talk about, or should we move to us asking you questions?
Yeah, sure. So there's the last two things. They also added for this version anniversary. They added a heroic mode, which is like a harder mode,
Okay.
which is pretty cool. There's not actually too much to it. It's mostly the same deal. Because before it was like different. Like you had to do pub games like 6 times to get enough gold. Because like I've actually got notes here of the things they removed. So normally when you die, if you have like there's an item that can bring you back. There's none of those. All the potions that basically you rely on for the whole run are really expensive and really scarce. Like instead of a guy having 40 of them, you only have like 2 of them. There's some potions that give you like a bunch of XP, like 1,000 XP times your combo meter. And that's just part of the game, but they give 10 times less in this run, so you can't just get a whole bunch of combo and then just use it. You can't use the regular buying and selling glitch that you'd use in the Lost Chapters, where you just buy and sell for a profit. Also, some things are more expensive and some stuff does more damage, but then because of menu manipulation, again, it just means that it's a similar deal, but just a little bit more challenging, because you can still menu manipulate. That hasn't changed at all, except it's a little bit more difficult. So yeah, that's also a really cool category. It was even cooler before because like there was all this crazy stuff you had to do and you could like die at any time, but it's still cool nowadays. Yeah. And then there's 2 other categories. One is all achievements, which is like a half meme, half serious category that I've done 1 run of. And they're just like funny achievement names. Like there's one called That's a Real Lunker. And you have to choose to you either have to get the top prize in the fishing competition or do a quest naked. It's meant to be like a joke. And there's like an achievement called like Ass Creed, where you have to dress up as an assassin and there's an expression in the game that you can use that's just you fart, and you have to dress up as an assassin and fart. Very mature, I know.
Right.
It's basically like 100% kind of, so it's kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just one of the other runs that exist, and then the biggest meme, which is marriage percent, which is just you get married as quickly as you can.
I'm loading this now.
Yeah, it's very short, so you basically you wave at someone, you give them gold, and then you flirt with them, and then the love heart over their head grows bigger, and then they're eventually like, yes, I want to marry you. Yeah. It's as bad as you sound.
Right.
Most of the run is actually just getting to the point where you can get married. Like the actual strats of it are only like 2 minutes.
When does marriage happen? So that was you getting items.
Yeah, well, that's not me. That's a Big Law. In
Oh,
this case.
well, okay.
So, yeah. So he's getting all the items he needs, and then he finds somewhat basically the nearest person. It can be the guy or girl. Game doesn't discriminate. You also have to buy a house because they're like, oh hey, you need to you need to have a house to get married.
Great marital. So what's wrong with these people you were rolling past? Or are they?
They're guards, so you can't marry the guards.
Oh.
It's like marrying a policeman in GTA. Well, I guess you can't marry anyone in GTA. But
Oh, there's someone.
Yeah, and this person is probably married in game already, but doesn't seem to matter. It's just you flirting with them, giving them gold, and then giving them gifts every so often. Again, just like in real life.
The love heart gets bigger. Okay.
And then the bigger the love heart, the more they like you, and then eventually, once it's a certain point, it's like, yes, I want to marry you.
Great. Flipping great. I love how it's unregistered hypercam 2 at the top.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
we did that as a meme as well. It's like, oh yeah, let's put unregistered hypercam in the corner. Party like it's 2007 on YouTube.
Done. Holy crap.
So yeah, that's all the
nice-
categories. Yeah, go on.
Is there a nice... Wait, is that the end of the game?
Yeah, well, that's the end of the run. Like, there's a little cutscene. It's like, and so the hero married.
Oh, I was going to say, is it like go credits or something?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of categories. There was a lot to cover, but yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, thanks for breaking that all down for us.
Yeah.
I'll leave the original run running in the background, and we can talk about some other stuff.
Yeah.
So, S, do you have any questions?
I have generic questions. I guess the first generic question I have is, if people want to learn this game, what would be some good resources that you have?
I'm glad you asked.
Good.
So there's a Fable speedrunning Discord that's open to everyone, and anyone who's even just interested in watching runs or getting hyped for runs. And let me find that. I should have prepared this beforehand. And we all hang out in there, and if anyone ever has a question, we're just like, oh, hey, you can do X, Y, Z. There's some video tutorials that a few people have done, which most of them are up to date for the most part, and they still have good knowledge in them. You can also watch, I did a run of this at ESA 2016, another plug for myself. I talked about the run there. Yeah, that's the one, I think.
There you go.
Oh, no, that's not the right.
It's expired. It's this one. I think.
Yeah, it's that one. I'm not sure I can get it timed up, but yeah, it's that one.
You've been invited to general in Fable speedrunning. All right. That's it.
Yeah, and then there's also a pastebin tutorial that I keep up to date, so that has like detailed notes on everything, alternative strats, and all of that. And that's usually, I'd say, like, play through the game, make sure you're just like you know what the game is. Then like watch a few videos, and then when you're ready to start running, just follow that pastebin tutorial because it breaks it down basically segment by segment.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the best way. And then yeah, also just hanging out in any of our chats and just asking us questions, because we're not gonna have a go at you for saying, oh, how dare you not know this? Because like some stuff, even people asking questions has led to strats being found. Like there was one strat in 100%, where it was just it's like you have to basically do a little fetch quest, and some guy's like, oh hey, why don't you just kill the guy because he drops the item? Like, let me try that. Huh, you're right, he does just drop the item. You just saved like 2 minutes, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how stuff like that happens.
Yeah. So yeah, that's usually the best way to get started, and basically just do runs, and it's actually a pretty easy game to get into. Like I might have scared people off by saying, oh, there's this bit which is terrible, this bit, but that's just where I've been running the game for 3 years, and I know the game back to front. But it's really easy to get into, and you'll just be shaving off time like mad doing it. It's not too long as well. Like your first run, you can basically finish it in 2 hours.
Okay, that's all right. That's a good length for a first run, yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions you have for me, I guess?
I do, actually I do, but do you have one, Josh?
Nope, no.
Yeah.
Go
And
on.
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I do have a story about how I actually got into running the game.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it was in 2013. Like, I was aware of like speedrunning's like existence, sort of thing. Mostly just watched TASes, but I knew like single segment or RTA runs of a thing was a thing. And actually, it even goes further back, because like back in 2005 or something, back in the age of Google Video, before YouTube was a thing, there was a Fable speedrun on there. Like, I guess it was the original SDA one. It was like 2 hours and 16. And even back then, even when I was like 8 years old looking at it, I was like, no, this isn't very good. It's a speedrun and it's cool, but it's also not very good. And I just sort of left it. And then there was like another run, which was like, oh my God, this is insane. How could anyone beat that? Which was the one that's on SD at the moment, is 1 hour 51 minutes by David Arnold, who actually, funny enough, he actually showed up a little while ago in our Discord. Like it turns out he'd been in our Discord for like a month and just hadn't told anyone. And like he posted a comment on one of the world record runs, and then we were like, oh hey, look, he commented, that's really cool. And he's like, oh hey, yeah, I've been here for a while. It's like, what? Where have you?
The ultimate troll.
Yeah. And he actually did the original 100% run as well, which is where I borrowed some of the strats from, and the other time was just I sat down and just basically just played through the game quickly and took notes. Yeah, so I was originally the only runner of this other than the SDA run, and I didn't actually do any runs. I just sort of practiced it for several months. And then, funnily enough, the next runner I found, of all places, was on the r/speedrunning subreddit, where there was a post that was like, "Oh yeah, what's a game you run and nobody else runs?" Because this is before like speedrun.com and even before the days of speedrunrecords.com. And I was going to go in there but post like, "Oh hey, I'm the only one who does Fable," and then someone else had already gone in like, "Oh hey, I'm the only one who does Fable." So obviously, mutual friendship begins, and many a strat was found. So we traded world records for a while. And then a few other, like there was one person who did one run back on YouTube. He came back, who was Giant Steps, and he came back and did runs. And then we basically just traded world records for a while. And then KJ Freshly rolls by, and he's the world record holder. And he basically, since he got the world record, he's insanely good at the game and like trounced everyone. He joined, he got a 141, which was like 10 minutes off the world record. And then the next run he got was world record. So like he beat all our times within like 2 weeks, which was absolutely amazing. Yeah, that was fun. What else was there? Yeah, it's just been mostly just, and then over time we found small time saves here and there. Yeah, so I've been usually like I'm usually like end up being the go-to guy for like either finding strats or routing the game. Like I routed basically the majority of this run, apart from a few strats, and I routed all of 100%. And like usually when someone has an idea or something, they'll message me and be like, "Oh hey, I've just had a thought. Is XYZ faster?" I'm like, "I'm not sure. Let me test it." I'll boot up the game and be like, "Yes, it is faster." "No, it's not." Or I'll just find like really weird stuff. Like at the start of the game, for instance, there's you have to give chocolates to your sister, and it turns out pressing no saved like a second because it saved like a cutscene or something. Because instead of saying yes and like a cutscene starting, you can just like press a hotkey and give the chocolates immediately to her. And that saves like a second. And it's just like small stuff like that.
Yeah, that's how it always goes.
So there's a question: did you guys ever try to basically wrong warp or skip
Hey, don't move on to chat. Just...
Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Damn it! No, getting ahead of myself here.
Yeah, I got one question. So, have you ever done runs of anything else, or just
yes.
this?
Oh, that was my question. Then.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been practicing on about Fable. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, I did some Oblivion runs back in the day, and I kind of want to come back to that soon. I also been recently as a year ago, been learning Sparrow 3 and Sparrow 1. They're pretty cool. And yeah, the games are on the leaderboard is just Fable.
That's all there is.
My only speed game at the moment, but
yeah. Then we go and show obsolete runs, and then this happens, and it's like
yeah, it's just more of that. Yeah, some games I've been picking up are Rayman Origins, the Spyro games, New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, and of course Oblivion.
Mm. Yeah, your YouTube icon is the Oblivion logo, I think.
Yeah, that was like when you first changed it, and I just never bothered to change it back because Oblivion used to be my favorite game. That's why I did runs for it.
Fable is game.
Fable it's game, yeah.
Didn't say that, damn it.
All right. I guess we don't have any more questions then, unless you do.
Nope.
No. All right. Let's move on to chat Q&A. Mac the microphone.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
We already got some questions, but if you want to leave your question, do it now. We'll answer them. And be sure to put a question mark in there so that it's easy for us to spot if it's a question or a statement. All right. Now you can...
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. So the first one is, do you ever try to skip quest triggers? So, yes, actually. So there's actually a file you can do to change, basically start any quest you want, and you can just edit it to change a false to true. Obviously you can't do that in run because it's cheating, but there you go. But I've been testing to see how much of the game you could skip, and there's like a theoretical, oh yeah, if we could skip from X point to Y point, you'd save like 40 minutes. But obviously, there's no way you can do it at the moment. But yeah, it's like the game is well built in the areas that we want to break, and then the other bits, it will fall apart. Of course, luck would have it. The only time really skip quest triggers in the run is there's actually 2 points. There's the bandit quest, which is where we do all the summon clipping, because we actually start the quest halfway through, and then we finish it, but never technically started it. And it means if you go back to the area afterwards, luckily we don't have to in any percent. If you go back to the area afterwards, it'll try and start the quest you've already finished, and then when you try and go to the next area, the game will just crash.
Great.
Yeah, there's also, I forgot to mention, a common theme, which is the game likes to crash quite a bit. Over time, we've come up with a nickname for the game, which is Stable Fable, because it just crashes at the most inopportune times. So yeah, that's basically it in terms of skipping triggers. It's a bit too well built for that.
Too linear. Well, not linear, but...
Yeah, it is actually pretty linear for an RPG.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Next question.
Go on.
Would you like a new Fable to play through?
Sure, if they could make one, but Lionhead doesn't exist anymore. They shut down last year, which feels bad.
That's what I was thinking about, yeah.
But on the flip side, I did play through Fable 3 a little bit, and it's... Well, I guess I had several years of playing through this one. Fable 2 was like on the 360 only, and that was like, it's a pretty good game. And then Fable 3 was like, no, it's not very good.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that. That's sort of like the mutual agreement is that, yeah, it's not... Like, the mutual agreement is that either the game doesn't actually exist, there's no Fable 3, or, yeah, it's either all right or not very good.
Now, I only ever played Fable 2, so I guess I'd need to play this sometime.
Yeah, it's cheap on Steam. I think Fable Anniversary is even on sale now on Steam for cheap money.
Summer sales, likely.
My damn.
Yeah, unless you're watching this in the future.
Yeah.
Check out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're already on YouTube. Next question.
Fable trifecta when?
Soon, actually. So the big limitation is I didn't have a HD capture card to stream Fable 2, and also I haven't actually played through Fable 3 first. But actually, yesterday, this arrived in the post, which is a HD capture card.
Hey,
yes,
that's the one I have. Yeah.
Hey, is it the 60 FPS one? I didn't manage to get that one. I bid it on.
Right.
I bid on eBay and I got it for like £50, which is a pretty good deal. So soon trademark. Yeah, that's when. Yeah.
So that's something we can actually expect, at least.
Yeah.
The honest answer is probably not. I'll probably play through Fable 3 on stream and Fable 2 and 3 on stream, and then once I've done with that, I can do it like a trilogy race. We did actually plan on doing one, but I had stuff to, between me and Big Law, but I had stuff to do, and Big Law was very tired, so we didn't.
Alright.
Here's one. The most important one. Can I just randomly sit down on the couch again at ESA?
Yes, you can.
There you go, Bergie.
Yes, you can. You're more than welcome. All of you are more than welcome to sit down at the couch and just ask me dumb questions about the run, like, streamer, why are you playing the game in Spanish?
No, that's right. We know about the game. We can be insightful a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, did you know there's a sword under the ground here?
Yeah.
Alright, what else we got?
What is the final thing you need to do in the game, and why can't you do it right away?
Good. So the final thing is actually just beating up the final boss, and it's just like I think you showed it before. It's just like a dragon, and you kill him.
Yeah.
Luckily, by that point of the game, the quest it's like really easy or really hard depending on how quickly you go. Because like he has two phases. Like he'll just sort of stare at you for a bit, and then he'll like do a bite attack twice, and they'll start flying up in the air and spewing fire, and it's terrible. But luckily, we kill him quick enough because like the game like has health threshold, so like until a certain point, a boss's health won't go past a certain point. but luckily we can kill him quick enough so that he never flies up into the air. Just barely. Like, I think the window frame is like a few seconds. So you can kill him pretty quickly. But the limitation of not being able to do that at the start of the game is, first of all, you're a kid and you're stuck to one area. And also, the only weapon you have is a stick that does, like, you start off doing 20 damage, and by the end of the game, you're doing about 5,000 damage.
Jesus.
You're not meant to, like, the maximum amount of damage you're meant to do is, like, 600, but you can just combine spells to do a whole bunch more.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So...
Damn it, Troll Bear. Keep going, sorry.
Yeah, so... I mean, if you was to theoretically be able to start the quest early and go to the final area, then yes, you could. It's not like it's like... because it's also in an area that you can't get to without doing a certain quest. So, yeah, like the game, even if you could break the game wide open and just go to any area you want, or like start any quest you want, you still have to go to the area itself to start it, which can only be activated by doing certain quests.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's good thinking though. It's good speedrun thinking. It's like, what's the last thing I have to do, and how do I do it as fast as possible?
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, basically the final boss is just locked behind a gate, and you can actually summon clip through that gate, but then there's just nothing there, which was very sad. Like, I had one of those like epiphany moments. Like, I was playing through the game, and I just had like the light bulb moment of, why don't we just clip through this? And then I tried it, and nothing worked. And I was very sad.
Okay. Last question, I guess. Is it possible to glitch into the demon door for the Lost Chapters part right in the beginning?
Sadly not.
Oh.
So there is a demon door where you can like, you like do a puzzle where you turn like sun signs into moon signs, but the actual, you can summon clip through it, but the trigger for it doesn't actually exist until the quest starts, like the area transition. And that's the same for most of them, apart from one area, which you can actually, well, there's two actually. Well, then we do clip through and it saves like 15 seconds. The other one would save 3 minutes and the last bit of fishing if we could do, but we can't. Because the game is very well built in that regard and it's actually badly built and thinks you're on two quests at once. Because it has like a failsafe where if you try and leave like the quote unquote quest area, you're like, oh, hey, you can't leave here. Do you want to reload the quest or do you want to stay where you are if you want to leave? And it just so happens the next area, because it thinks you're on two quests at once, it's like, oh, hey, you can't come here yet. That's not allowed, sort of thing. So, yeah, feels bad.
Feels bad. All right. I guess that's chat Q&A done then.
Yeah.
There we go. We got through it all. We're not too far off of schedule, so that's good.
Yeah, considering the tangents we've been on.
Yeah, the tangents, man. So many.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's the end. Thanks for watching. Thanks a hell of a lot for coming on and telling us all about the whole Fable series of the good games.
Yeah,
at
no
least.
problem. It was a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it was fun. Right. So remember that we have a YouTube channel where I will shortly be posting this video if I remember to and stay awake long enough. And you can watch all the VODs of the episodes on there. We also have a Discord where we discuss all of the stuff about the news and whatnot, and you can tell us about runs and stuff. We also have our world record submission form, so if you guys see any cool world records in the next week, please let us know about it. Not just your own ones, it can be other people's. And then we'll talk about it next week, and let us know a little bit about it as well, so we know what we're talking about.
Yep.
We also like ideas for guests. So that's probably a Discord thing. If you like have someone who's speedrun something you think would be a good guest on the show, talk about a game or a series, let us know about it. So what are we all doing next week? Tim, start with you because we started with you before. What are you doing next week that you want to plug?
I'm going to. So next week I'll be doing my best to stream.
Good.
Like I'll actually probably this weekend I'll try and stream some Fable anniversary runs in preparation. Because also, even though we found all this new stuff, I haven't actually PB'd in a while.
Oh damn. Well, there you go.
So,
see the RTC blessing. It's gonna happen again. You're gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It could happen. if it doesn't, I'll have disappointed you all. But yeah, I'll be streaming Fable Anniversary at some point. Now I actually have an obligation to, whatever that means. But yeah, so I'll be doing that, and probably not too much else. I might do some like meme categories if other people are down for it, or some races and stuff.
Great.
Do you still use SRL for races?
We use it, but just like on the live split bit, just because.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it is world record season. It's like just coming up to the two big marathons, GDQ and ESA. So it's like before and after that, everyone's like practicing, and then everyone will be practiced by the time they go home. It's world record season.
I mean, it'd be really cool if I get a world record before ESA, but
yeah, even if you don't before, you will after with all the practice you did. So
I mean, it's less about getting the world record. It's more about just getting a good, like consistent time. Like if you go a few minutes under, but it's not like noticeable, that's fine. But yeah.
All right, what are you doing, S?
Oh, got me off guard.
Far Cry 2, right?
I think I have a race like right after this podcast that I missed a post, wanted to do with me, where I'll do some Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Las Venturas practice. I was watching him yesterday. I was like, oh man, I remember how fun this segment is, so I want to do that.
Okay.
And I was like, let's do a race in 24 hours. So that's what I'll be doing instead of sleeping after this. As for the rest of the week, I'll probably finish my Far Cry 2 segmented run off stream and maybe give one attempt at San Andreas full run.
Fair enough. As for me, I'll be driving more race cars probably because I'm addicted to that damn game now. And I'm sure I'll finish this episode of True 100% Plus. It won't be out this evening probably because I'm going to go to sleep, but it will definitely be done tomorrow. I won't play iRacing until I've finished it. There you go. I promise I'll finish it.
It's not, you said it now, it's out there. all these people out here are going to hold you to your word.
It's like,
you don't want to disappoint them.
It's like my YouTube channel's being held ransom, right? I can't upload anything else before I upload True 100% because everyone will be mad at me. But yeah, so there's that. The speedrun wise, I don't know. I kind of want to get back into speedrunning. I haven't done anything in like a month speedrun wise, and I probably should, seeing it's coming up to ESA. I normally want to do something stupid in the bonus stream, right? So maybe I'll learn.
Is there going to be a bonus
again.
Stream this year?
I don't know.
Probably not. I don't know.
Actually, no idea. I'm sure there'll be like some sort of disaster on the second stream, and they'll be like, "We need runs or whatever."
Hey, I'll be happy to do more Fable. We'll just turn it into a Fable marathon.
No man, I'm gonna do Gone Home any %. That'll fill the time.
Oh man, it's amazing. You can just do iRacing.
Yeah.
Get your F1 20. Was it 2015?
2015, yeah, 3 laps %. I'll do that. No one knows what we're talking about because that was before the show, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we need to find a raid target. I have preemptively found one that is fairly suitable.
Saves me the job of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to find a Fable runner or something, you can go for it.
There's none live, so.
Okay, all right. Well, I guess we'll raid this target. It's a cool person, so it's fine. And yeah, that's it. We'll see you next week. Well, 2 of us will. 10 won't. But yeah,
I'll see you guys at ESA, I guess.
Yeah,
and I'll
see
be
you at
hanging out
ESA.
in your guys' chats and stuff.
I'll try and do an ESA special episode because S will be at home, so he'll stream it, and I can use my laptop to just Skype or whatever. Right?
But what are we going to stream it to?
Your channel, I guess, or mine. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's the problem. I guess you can't stream it to ESA because ESA will be running.
Yeah. Maybe we should have booked a time slot on the second stream to do
Yeah,
That would-
maybe.
episode
Yeah.
live. It's
See
probably
if
too
there's like
late.
a setup block free or something.
It's probably too late. It doesn't matter. We'll do something. It's fine. But yeah,
Just have a pirate stream, I guess.
pirate stream. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I always forget about this outro. Okay, there we go. Nope, damn it. There we go.